An All-Australian after debuting back in 2013. He's the 6th Port Adelaide player to reach it at AFL levels. So a great milestone for Port Adelaide as well.
Happy birthday to Brandon Zirk-Thatcher, a 26-year-old today, celebrating a birthday for the Port Adelaide Football Club. They have had the edge over Fremantle in recent meetings. They've won 5 of the last 6 and the past 2 that they played against the Fremantle Dockers. So that should give Carlton fans a little bit of hope as we prepare for this matchup underway in about 6 minutes' time. Let's say g'day to our experts. Dual premiership player with the West Coast Eagles, Chris Waterman. Premiership player with the Collingwood Football Club, Sharad Wellingham. Welcome to you both. What a stage. What a way to decide the season. Who gets in, who misses out. We know that they can't all get there. Carlton at the moment nervously waiting, anxiously watching. How does this one play out? Do Port lock in and guarantee themselves a home qualifying final and finish second with a win? Or can Fremantle get over and fight their way back into the 8 and break Carlton hearts once more? What are we expecting, gents?
Well, it's an incredible day. It started nice and early. The first bounce down this morning was at 10:30, so you could flick the telly on and follow it all through the day. It has been exciting. We mentioned during the week we wanted this game to be live, and like you said, Mitch, we definitely got. I think we got about 4 or 5 boxes in a row here with media and club representatives, and everybody was on their feet.
It felt like Matilda's last year when we were all watching the penalty shootout v France.
It was crazy, and then obviously the eruption from, because I think I said about 15 minutes ago, where is everybody? And you said they're deep in the stands watching every monitor they can get their eyes on, but pretty awesome feeling in here, wasn't it, Muddy?
Yeah, afternoon everyone. That was a great 10 minutes. It was. We were all just talking prior to that kick. It'd be flat if they didn't get up, the Saints, because we've got a dead rubber here. But now we have a live game in the very last game of the season. How many games of football have been played this year, Clint? Have you got
206 to this. This is the 207.
And we're going to get it all decided by this last 4 quarters. It's just
pretty cool.
It's a dream for the AFL. All eyes around the country will be on this game of football here, and you've got 2 very good teams. Fremantle have left easily 3 or 4 on the table this year.
Yeah.
They've put themselves in this position. So they haven't got their best 22, but neither did Carlton today, and they found a way last week over here. The big concern is, even though we're playing here in Perth on their home deck, they're playing up against a team that seemingly was looking to shoot their coach about 8 or 9 weeks ago. He was getting hung out to dry in Adelaide, and here they are fighting for a home final and second spot on the ladder. So an intriguing game of football.
So what difference does Charlie Dixon's omission make to this side? What does that do for the way that Port Adelaide line up? They're already without Houston. We expected Burton to go back and cover that. What do they have to do now with no Dixon, who I know this season 23 goals, 17.
But he has
the ability to, though, occasionally grab a game by the scruff of the neck.
I'd say when he's been in, he's still been reasonably effective, and he's had some injuries this year. But Vicentini, who does come in, is a big, tall player as well, so they've still got that height. Georgiades plays really tall as well, I think, for whatever his height is.
Charlie hasn't grabbed a game for a long time now, if in fact this year at all, really, and he's spent time in the SANFL over there, so I'm not sure it's going to be a great loss, although they probably would have liked him with Fremantle not having Pierce.
That's what I meant, I think, as well.
That may have been the advantage. They didn't have the big...
Try to stretch him.
Big monster to play on him, but he's not there. Mitch Georgiades is a pretty handy inclusion, that's for sure.
I think what Joe Bridie spoke about with us yesterday on Sports Talk is going to be it's the midfield. It's going to be a really, really strong midfield battle. You look at both of them going head to head. Are Port Adelaide going to be able to strangle Fremantle's clearance pace? When they link up and are able to handball chain away from stoppage, they can look really, really fast and dangerous. And we saw that taken away in the Geelong game. If you remember, they just got absolutely strangled and weren't able to transition from stoppage at all. And I think Port Adelaide's opposition analysis would have been in overdrive watching that game. And if they can figure out a way to match it, maybe they got to get numbers up the back of the stoppage, maybe try and play an out the back game themselves, but get lots of numbers up the back of the stoppage and not allow them to link up out the back like Fremantle like to do.
Well, you've got Sarong, Brayshaw, and Young up against the three, the lines Butters,
Rosie.
So take your pick which three you want. This is going to come. It could come down to who is the better ruckman on the day that can feed his midfield.
And also, just quickly, in looking at last games of the season, Port Adelaide have won in the past 5 years. They've won in the final home and away game all 5 years.
Really?
Fremantle in the last 2 years have lost. Have won their past 2, but are 4 and 6 in final games over the past 10 years. Port Adelaide are 8 and 2. Both of
them better records than what Carlton had going into the last game of the season. We saw how that panned out.
Clint, what was Reedy like? I haven't seen much of him. Is he going to be able to pick up the slack in the ruck?
These are the questions I normally like to ask you, Sharad.
But he's only played. I didn't get to see him.
Well, he's a big lad. Just his second game. I think it's a big task to ask, which is my concern about where Freo get the goals from. If they do decide that Reedy isn't able to match it in the ruck and they have to put Jackson in there predominantly, and you've already without Tracy and you've dropped Banfield, you're relying a lot on Jai Amos, who I know can be very good but hasn't been the exceptional pick we thought that he may turn out to be this season, and Michael Walters coming back in. There's a bit that Fremantle have to work out in these early stages against Port Adelaide. Mitch, toss of the coin.
Toss of the coin has been won by Fremantle. Andrew Brayshaw with the captain duties today in the absence of Alex Pearce. Dockers will kick to the city end of the ground, which is the right of our broadcast position.
Let's head downstairs before the bounce of Cash Fotodar.
Thanks, Clint. It is pumping down here, as you can imagine. The crowd did get a massive lift with the result from the St Kilda Carlton game, so it is buzzing down here, and the conditions are perfect. Looking across to the benches for Fremantle, Sam Sturt, Nat Fyfe, Johnson and Wagner starting on the bench. Michael Walters is a sub for Port Adelaide. Burton, Mead, Horn, Francis and McEntee on the bench, and Francis Evans is the sub.
Game 207 and the last game of the home and away season. It's had more twists and turns you can hope for. Let's get the final one started. It's the Dockers and Port. Here's Mitch Turner.
Fremantle will win the first clearance as well. Reedy got it down to Brayshaw and then Young. Kick goes towards half forward. Boat getting back there, but the power is taken strongly straight away. So we'll have another ball up in between wing and half forward for the Dockers. Reedy and Sweet doing battle. Reedy had a tap over the top. It came down to Boak. He was swung in a tackle. His kick out wide, though. It was knocked away from Butters by Brayshaw. O'Driscoll onto it for the Dockers. Gave it to O'Meara, who tried to get a kick forward. It tumbled at right angles out of bounds. The umpire said insufficient intent. So Port Adelaide will win it back. And Travis Boak, who's looking pretty busy early, the veteran, takes the free kick, goes back to Farrell, and now further into defence to Alir. Comes wide to the far side of the ground, looking for a target in Bergman. It was punched away by Amos. There'll be a ball up between wing and half forward, or a ball in, favouring the Dockers end. We've played 1 minute here on the final game of the home and away season. Neither side yet to score.
Good crowd in, as you'd expect. Fremantle playing for their lives in season 2024. Win and they're in. Lose and Carlton make it. From the restart, it comes down to Young. Kicks quickly towards full forward. Zirk Thatcher, strong mark back in his defensive goal square. Stabs it out into the right back pocket. Chance to build again here for Port as they their white away strip. Farrell has it up against the boundary line. He'll kick to a pack on the southern wing. Off hands, spills down. Wines gets a hurried kick away. Going back, Radaglia takes the mark. Taken to ground by Cox in the tackle. He'll get up and then hand pass it away to Wines, who ran alongside the boundary line. Clever kick, short and marked by Burn-Jones, and he'll get 50 as well. Against Clark in the marking contest. He'd taken it. Clark dealt with him. He'll be brought right inside the forward 50. He'll come to be no more than about 15 out from goal here. We'll say that's not the most generous 50 I've seen by any stretch of the imagination. So the mark's placed 25 from goal. 45-degree angle to the right. Burn-Jones looking for the first goal of the game. 25-17 for the season. Darcy Burn-Jones kicks the goal for Port. Power fans and Blues fans around the country celebrate early on. 2.5 gone in the first. Port Adelaide 1 straight 6 The Dockers yet to score. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Our experts Chris Waterman and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, by the letter of the law, it's there. I think the umpires sometimes get an opportunity to stamp their authority on the game. We're not
Set the tone a little bit, you think?
Yeah, just give them one early and say, that's it, boys.
I reckon that might be the crackdown of the weekend. A lot of those little late free 50-metre penalties we've seen.
Yeah.
Saw one in the Bulldogs game earlier this morning. Nick Haynes gave one away.
Impressive from Port Adelaide then, trying to get some pace on the ball with the handball receives a couple of times. Obviously, game plan there is to keep the ball in motion.
So Darcy Byrne-Jones gets the opener for Port Adelaide. They lead by a goal. Ball back in the middle. Bobbles off the two rucks. They both dive back in, unable to get it. Now Wines on top of the ball. He was ripped off it by Sarong. Reedy wrapped up by his opposing ruck in Sweet. They'll ball up again. Once again, the two big men jostle position. Sweet knocks it forward. Coming out to meet it was Rosie. He was stripped off it by Chapman. Umpire said illegally. Just held on a bit too long in the tackle. Free kick to Rosie. Quickly gives it off to Kane Farrell. Normally a long kick of the ball. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. Going back, Luke Ryan. Receives a round of applause. Takes a strong intercept mark. Now a dangerous kick up the middle. Finds Chapman.
Turns and goes quickly again, right up the corridor. Brayshaw might have been held without it. It's against Butters. Umpire says play on. Farrell kicks towards centre half forward for Port. Shoveling out the hand pass, Wines. Got it to Drew. He'll kick towards full forward. Travels over the back of Rioli and Cox. And is across the boundary line for a throw-in. The complaints continue from the middle.
Pretty clear front-on contact for mine against Brayshaw. There, one missed from the umpire.
It was against Butters. They got away with that, Port. Throwing just to the left of their attacking goal. Back into play. Reedy palmed it down. O'Meara went up, couldn't mark it. Reedy gathers, runs straight into Sweet. He's tackled. There'll be a ball up. Port kicking to the left of our broadcast position, the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. Sweet palms it down. Straight to Cox, though. Got away from Rioli. Hands it off now to Walker. Kicks the Dockers beyond defensive 50. Big pack up. Zerk Thatcher got a fist on it for Port. Spilled out the side. Butters hand pass forward. Stolen away by the Dockers. It comes through Brayshaw. And now away is O'Driscoll.
Took a couple of bounces. Handballed over the top to Young. Young for the Dockers going inside 50. Looking for a target and finding one. No. Yes. Switkowski took the mark. He was under enormous pressure, but he held on to it. And he'll go back, set shot, 30 metres out, slightest of angles. And just quickly, Brennan Cox, a little bit of trouble behind play, a knock to the face, was with the trainer.
Good ball movement by Freo. And Ali is the loose man sitting back, but he just dragged himself right back, and Fremantle let up and they got it going.
A cheer for Luke Ryan and Nathan O'Driscoll as they come to the bench. Sam Switkowski has the ball, sinks the slipper into it, and punches the air in excitement. The Dockers have their first. One straight 6 apiece here at Perth Stadium. 6 minutes played in the opening term. Chris Waterman, Sharad Wellingham, ABC Sport.
He made the call there, mate. He was great link up and great run and carry. O'Driscoll, I think he was one of the Fremantle players who put some pressure on Port Adelaide player, but then took off as soon as they won the ball back. And Hayden Young with a great inside 50 kick to the advantage of Switkowski out the back play.
That was the key. He kicked the ball to where the forward needed to go, not where he was leading. And it gave the defenders no chance. It was spot on. And if he didn't get it, Jai Amos was only a metre away, so it was right where the forwards were leading.
Hayden Young there with his 41st assist, equals Matthew Pavlich for the most score assists by the Dockers since 1999, when they begin to take note of these rules as Port win it away. Horne-Francis to Wines. The Horne-Francis goes to Rioli. Got a hand pass again. Wanted Drew. Tried to just shovel it forward. Gets it back a second time. Snaps towards goal. And he's put it through. And Port Adelaide, they hit the front again at the 7-minute mark of the opening term. Rioli involved. Then Drew. And Vincentini shovelled out the hand pass to get it onto Drew to allow him to have the snap. And to see Port second on the board. 2 straight 12 to 1 straight 6. 7.5 gone in the first. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
not a whole lot of defence at the moment. If they get momentum, they just surge forward. It's good play by Port.
Another 2 handball receives in that play, though, and they're just happy to keep the ball going, aren't they? No interest in going back and waiting for an option. Just handball it, someone running past, and then they'll make it up as they get there.
Fast start.
It's become a really important player, as Willem Drew, for the Power. Terrific goal, terrific finish, great play. Willem Drew gets his 19th goal of the season. Ball goes forward off the Dockers' boot towards their attacking 50. Standing back there doing brilliantly was Ryan Burton. Shook a tackle, got it to the big man in sweet, looped a handball over the top to Farrell inside the centre square, who's tackled immediately by Hayden Young. Willem Drew, 4th goal for the season. Ball comes down off the restart. Reedy towards Fife on top of the ball, his first real involvement. Can't get it out. We'll have another stoppage. Umpire very quickly to throw the ball up today. It's knocked down in the Fife direction. Couldn't take it. Rosie could. His kick not very effective, though. Went straight to Johnson of the Dockers. His handball out to the wing to the run of Clark. Kicks the ball inside the forward 50. Looking for Jackson. Aliyah's in front of him. Jackson wanted to block. Aliyah wanted to hold. And it goes the way of the Power defender. Free kick in the left back pocket.
Aliyah thought about going across the face of goal. Instead goes short. Finds Burton. Ryan Burton, the former Hawk. Kicks over the top of Sam Sturt. Comes to the commentary wing. There's a big pack there. It's off hands. Well done. Roving by. Horn Francis gathered beautifully. Kicks inside forward 50. One-on-one battle here. Draper gets in front of Rioli and then takes it over the boundary line. 20 out from Port's attacking goal in the left forward pocket. Port 2 straight 12. Dockers 1 straight 6. 9 gone in the first. This game is live because St Kilda beat Carlton by 2 points with about 12 seconds to play in Melbourne earlier today. One down by Sweet. Chapman eventually emerges with it, though. His defensive 50. Shares it with Young. Back to Chapman. Now an opportunity for Wagner. Heads towards the southern wing. Switkowski working it forward to Sharp on the outer edge of the logo. Has to backtrack away from his opponent. Ugly kick, though. Umpires spotted a free kick here, and it's going back to Sharp. He'll have it on the outer side of the ground. Eventually it gets returned to him. Gets told to move it on, so he goes back. Finds Chapman, still at left half back. Cool day, a few clouds above us. No rain expected, though, in the west. There's Chapman for the Dockers. Kicks towards left half forward. Sweet battles against Reedy. Neither got a touch. Jackson does the roving at the back. Hand pass to Switkowski. Got away from McEntee. Hand pass back to Jackson. Well done for the Dockers. Hand pass to Sarong. Sarong from 49 metres out has a shot but misses left. 45-degree angle to the left as well. Puts it through for a minor score. Port 2 straight 12. Dockers 1-1-7. 11 gone in the first.
Almost a turnover from the kick in. Horn Francis had it knocked away from him. Then gives it straight back to the Dockers. Sturt pounces on it and misses. Oh, ugly footy from the Power. The Dockers don't capitalise. Another behind. 1-2-8 Fremantle. 2 straight 12. Port Adelaide 11 minutes played. They'll have the ball back.
Oh, chaos.
That's what can happen if you've got the mindset of taking it on.
Work it around there. Left back pocket. Burton emerges. Heads from left half back with a kick down the commentary wing. Walker got in front. Tapped it down. Chapman. His hand pass forward. Bounced off Vicentini. Goes across the boundary line for a throw-in. Dante Vicentini coming into the side with Charlie Dixon, the late out due to illness. No late change for Fremantle. The subs, Francis Evans for Port, Michael Walters for the Dockers. Thrown back in again. Neither ruck had a touch more each than each other. Brayshaw had it, hand pass straight to Butters for Port. Now gives it to Burton from the logo. Wobbly kick inside forward 50. Chapman put himself in the best position. Marks defensively for the Dockers. The kick was dangerous beyond defensive 50 though. He was looking to set it there for Johnson. Butters right with him. Won the ball to ground and then gets a neutral ball with the footy going over the boundary line at left half forward for Port, who lead by 4 points. 12.5 gone in the first. This is Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
Both sides with some Some ugly footy out of their back half so far. The ball's tossed back in. Sweet. And a couple cracks at it. Tapped it towards Etsina. And a free kick going the Dockers' way. O'Driscoll was held. He'll take it quickly. Goes short down the wing to O'Meara. Has the ball on the broadcast side. Looks inside for an option. Nothing presents. So instead decides to kick up the line. Looking for Jackson. Got to the front. Couldn't take the mark. It was held by Vicentini in the contest. Luke Jackson has the ball now just forward of centre wing. Once again, wants to kick it inside. Nothing really presenting for him, so heads long to the pocket. Amos is there, so too at the back, Zirk Thatcher. Amos went to ground, Zirk Thatcher took the mark. He was the last man standing in the pack. Did well, did the birthday boy. Now goes short to Mead. Handball's off to Burton.
Comes from beyond defensive 50. It's Georgiades back in the team. Finds Rosie, runs across half-back, evades Brayshaw, goes to centre-half-back, and then, what a great kick. Look its way towards McEntee, has to step around Sturt. The bright yellow boots in motion. Kick goes in the direction of Bergman. Couldn't get to it. Clark can. Under pressure, got a hand pass out. Spilled the ground. Free kick going the way of McEntee here. And he'll have it on the southern wing for Port Adelaide. I'll move it short to Rosie. Now, with a foot pass to Rioli. Marked uncontested, just shy of right half forward. Wanted someone to come towards him, then kicks to a 3-on-3 battle into the right forward pocket. Spills to ground. O'Driscoll got a hand pass away up the deck for the Dockers. Comes to Chapman, now to Fife. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Lovely weighted pass. Finds Brayshaw, who marks defensive edge of the centre circle.
Was held up by Burton on the mark. Fans wanted a 50-metre penalty. None forthcoming. Brayshaw instead plays on by hand to Fife. Now to O'Meara. Has space on the wing. Sees a lead inside the forward 50. Gets it to Amos. He was pushed in the back. Got some space on Zirk Thatcher. The former Bomber shoved two hands into the number 24. Amos will have the free kick. He'll go back. Man on the mark stands about 45 metres out, 45-degree angle to the right.
We know how good of a setter shot he is, but this is that really difficult and uncomfortable distance for him because he doesn't get the momentum, but looks like he's gone a fair bit further back than he usually does, doesn't he?
He's the go-to, though. He has got Zirk Thatcher on the lead here.
Yeah.
They just need to drag Aaliyah away.
Out of that lane for him to go to.
35 goals, 28 for the season. 1 goal, 2 last week. He was a leading goal kicker last year, Jai Amos. And he's on target here today. The Dockers back in front. 2-2-14 Fremantle. Port Adelaide 2 straight 12. We've played just 15 minutes in the opening term here at Perth Stadium. And with every kick, every time the Dockers go in front, they'll temporarily be in the top 8 and the fans will cheer.
Yeah, I think Jackson started on Aaliyah and he was up the ground a little bit, which I don't mind, but they've got to go. Jai's actually looked very dangerous on Zirk Thatcher a couple of times here. At the other end, I see that when the ball comes from deep defence for Port Adelaide, they've got Willie Rioli one out. So I'm not sure that's the best option. I'm putting Mitch Georgiades inside my forward 50.
It does look as though Aaliyah is going to Voss, doesn't it? And that might be their game plan to make Aaliyah able to drop off.
They've just got to make sure he's manned up. Either lead up or take him back to the goal square and let Jai lead up.
And the restart. Jackson is there. One down by Vicentini. Slapped forward by Port. Butters involved. Picked up by McEntee. Cleverly gathered. The kick forward was short. Rioli gathered through it on the boot inside forward 50 immediately. Out after it, Georgiades taken to ground there by Ryan. Spilled out the side and O'Driscoll gathers before he's tackled. Ball up. In the left forward pocket here for Port Adelaide, who trail by 2. First quarter here at Perth Stadium. Santini got it down. Came to Rosie. Threw it on the boot. Kicked towards full forward. Rioli flew. Couldn't get hands to it though. Spilled down to Ryan. The Dockers bursting away. 1 bounce. Now 2 to Clark. He'll head towards the southern wing with the kick. It wasn't a great one. Zirk Thatcher couldn't mop it up. Ali coming the other way. Could at right half back. Kick was a poor one as well. Down low for Burne-Jones. He couldn't gather. Sarong scooped it up. Gave it back to Clark. Kicks inside forward 50. Ball's allowed to bounce. Ali crashed into an opponent. Umpire spots a free kick. It's going Port's way. Bergman taken out of the contest. He'll have it in the right back pocket for the Power, who trail by 2 over Fremantle, who are 2-2-14. Port 2 straight 12. 18 gone in the first.
Bergman releases the kick further up the ground. Dropped the marking. It was Radagalia. Draper came through for Fremantle. He couldn't gather. McEntee, he's stripped of it, holding the ball. The Dockers take the advantage. O'Driscoll steps around Bergman, sets his sights on the goal and nails it. And he runs to the Freo faithful and says, get on your feet. The Dockers have their third. 3 goals to 20. Port Adelaide 2 straight 12. They made Port pay. It's an early lead, 8 points, 18 minutes into the first. Jared Wellingham and Chris Waterman, our experts here on ABC Sport.
I like the play on by Draper. Take the advantage, recognise numbers around him and dished off to straight to Driscoll. Yeah, straight to Driscoll. Beautiful finish, but as soon as it left the boot, straight to the crowd, really trying to rev everybody up.
He's had a good start, Nathan. He's that extra midfielder that they probably haven't put as much time into. And he's just got off the hook here in the first 10 minutes and he looks dangerous.
I also think he's got a bit of a, winning scenario in that all the Port attack, they're so attacking and he's able to just get him going the other way.
Nathan O'Driscoll's first goal of the season. His second game. It's the Dockers, they get a free kick and they take the advantage from the restart. Young bursting away inside 450. Amos marks right in front of goal. He's 25 out. And this is his bread and butter normally.
Bossy.
Oh, Boss, beg your pardon.
And he got up on Aaliyah, who thought it was going long and dropped off.
Used the hit-up lead, wasn't it?
Yep.
So Patrick Voss from right in front. This to give the Dockers their fourth, and Voss does. And Voss punches the air in joy. Just his 6th career goal in the AFL. And Fremantle, all of a sudden, out to a 14-point advantage. Just repeating, the equation is simple wherever you're listening around the nation. If Fremantle win, they're in the finals. If Port win, Carlton will play finals football.
It was the push off, and Aaliyah just did not want to stay with him, did he?
No, he just took that one step back.
Yeah.
That was enough. It didn't give him enough room to go back on a hard, flat kick in.
Well, you just brought it up, didn't you, both of you, Jared, Chris, that Aaliyah wants to play on Voss and drop off. And on
use the hit up. You go through him.
They went through Voss and he got the goal. So the Dockers now to an early 14-point lead. The ball is back in the middle. It's Reedy and Sweet to go at it. Sweet gets the tap down. Butters onto it for the Power. Couldn't get it to a teammate. Chapman chopped it off for the Dockers, then lost it. Horn Francis comes in. And he's tackled as well. So another ball up to restart play. Still inside the centre square. Slightly favouring Port Adelaide. Reedy over the top. The Dockers tapped it straight though to Butters. His tumbling kick inside the forward 50. Georgiades out to meet it. Gets it to McEntee. His kick now to the top of the goal square. Players going back. The whistle has been blown. And it's going against Brandon Walker for a hold on Willie Rioli. Umpire said he wrapped his arms around the Port Adelaide small forward. And he'll get the free kick about 15 metres out. Slight angle to the left. Should be able to kick this one.
This came about with a scrambled kick inside 50 that Georgiades came up on Luke Ryan, who's the same as Aaliyah. Does not want to come up on leading players.
Knows this ground very well. Does Willie Rioli. He's kicked plenty of goals here before. And he gets another today. Port answer back. They get their third. 3 straight 18. Port Adelaide 4-2-26. Fremantle 22 minutes played in the first. So we see a replay of the free kick.
Not much in that.
As soon as they see the arms go around, though, you are in trouble.
Well, they hardly went around.
Well,
Like there was a little bit more to those boos, though, than him just kicking that goal. I think a few of the Freo fans remember in the old jumper.
I just don't think it's a hold until you grab the jumper. Bearing in mind, Willie went and engaged the contact. He was looking for it.
That was barely a hug, let alone a hold.
Yeah, it was barely a hug.
The cash photo downstairs.
Just a little bit of concern for Port Adelaide down here with Miles Bergman having a lot of work done on his groin and looking in a bit of discomfort as well.
Sweet wins the tap. Slap forward by Drew for Port. Young gets there first, though. Gathers for the Dockers. Hand pass the right half back. O'Driscoll trying to get a hand pass away again. Scooped up there by Wagner. Under pressure. Comes to Burn-Jones now. Hand pass around from Mead to Wines. Another great kick inside forward 50. Defensive mark coming the way of the Dockers through Clark. He's between fullback and centre half back. O'Driscoll pleading for it in the right back pocket. Eventually he's going to send it that way, and O'Driscoll can mark. Most of the ground now in shade as the sun sets, both on this game and the season. Driscoll kicks towards centre wing. Zirk Thatcher attacks the football and marks for Port Adelaide, just in front of the logo, commentary wing. Play on by hand, gives it to Burton. He'll send it inside the attacking 50. Good spoil, Ryan, coming across in front of Georgiades. Knocked it over the boundary line. Throw-in. Now 51 out from Port's attacking goal. They're going to the left of our broadcast position. That's the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. Dockers lead 4-2-26 to Port. 3 straight 18. 24 gone in the first.
Ball spun back in. Sweep to the front. Tapped it straight to Brayshaw. Handball off to O'Meara. Then to Wagner, who's bumped off it by Butters. Didn't tackle him. Still knocked the ball free, though. Boat gathered for Port. Gave it off to Sweet, who punches it inside the forward 50. Ryan there to gather for Fremantle. Kick out wide by O'Driscoll. Out in front of Sharp and Burgoyne. Who wins the foot race? Sharp was able to knock it along the line. Frederick coming in, gathers and is pushed out of bounds. Butters put the bump on. If he tackled, it would have been holding the ball on Wagner and maybe having a shot at goal here. Port Adelaide. See the replay, gee. That's how you set a tone, though. Ball will be spun back in on the wing. Sweet to the front. Gets it to Drew. Tackled immediately. Ball spills free. Wines now jumps in over it. Luckily, the ball spilled out. Comes out to Burgoyne for Port. Shares it with Drew. Now off to Rosie, the skipper. Handball missed him. Had to go and collect it. Eventually gets a high kick towards half forward. Ryan in the middle of the pack. A pack of 5. And Luke Ryan, former All-Australian, Doig medalist of the Dockers, took the intercept mark. Will win the ball back for Fremantle.
It's told to play on. Ryan will kick towards the outer side of the ground. Not a great kick. Person in the right position was bring a Port jumper in Wines. Took almost an uncontested mark. He'll decide to play on. With the right, sends it back into the right forward pocket. 3-on-3 battle, off hands. Cox won it to ground. Draper picked it up. Hand pass straight back into traffic. There's Mead. Umpires spotted a holding decision. It's going away here of the Dockers. We'll come back to Brayshaw. Looks across the face of goal and he'll head straight back to Brendan Cox. Marks in his defensive goal square. He'll move it short to Ryan again. Marking the right back pocket. Now on to O'Meara. Earlier today, the Bulldogs by 37 over the Giants. So the Bulldogs locked themselves into a spot in the finals. Carlton lost to St Kilda by 2. The Blues now have to wait and pray that Port Adelaide beat Fremantle here. Umpire spots a free kick. It's going the way of Zirk Thatcher, impeded in the marking contest on the commentary wing.
Plays on Zirk Thatcher, runs off his line, kicks it inside the forward 50 going up. Sharing it almost with his teammate and Draper was Cox. Took the intercept mark and then eventually did chip the ball across to Josh Draper. Little dinky chip over the top to defensive 50 to Wagner. Thought about giving the hands. In the end, decided to go himself. Runs his full 15. Kicks it out wide looking for Switkowski. Was able to edge Jones under the ball. Dropped the mark. Went back and got it though. Handball to the big ruckman in Reedy. Had to bend over and pick it up. He did. He slipped. He regathered his feet. Kicked it inside the forward 50. Bouncing ball. Farrell takes it for Port Adelaide. Off to Aliria. Defensive 50 clearance. Comes out wide to the wing. Radically is outnumbered 3-1 by the Dockers. Cox knocks it to his advantage. Now handballs back to Ryan. Now to O'Meara. 65 from home. Goes to the pocket looking for Fife. And Aliria just comes over the top and smashes it into the signage. It'll be a ball up 40 metres around from the Dockers attacking goal. They still lead the power by 8 points, 27 minutes played.
Lights are on at Perth Stadium. Entire ground in shape. Sweet gets there against Jackson. Won it down. Sarong in hot pursuit. Gathers beautifully. Hard up against the boundary. Tries to bounce it towards goal. Zirk Thatcher, the goalkeeper, right there on the defensive goal square. Takes it, sends it towards right half back. Burn-Jones worked O'Meara out from under it. Slapped it back inboard. Burton picks it up. Met by O'Meara. Taken the ground. Great tackle from O'Meara. Just on the defensive point of the centre square at right half back. We've got a ball up. Freo 4-2-26. Port 3 straight 18. 28 gone in the first.
Jackson and Vicentini in the ruck. It came off hands to Wines. Got a tumbling kick forward. Beat everyone in the pack. Came to Horne-Francis. Off to Butters. Retreats with a handball to Boak. Now chip back to Horne-Francis, who kept running. He's 55 from home. Chips over the top. Looking for a teammate underneath it. In mid, and it's punched away by the power forward by Jordan Clark, who gets a nice round of applause again. Goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. It's about 35 metres around from Port's goal. Ball tossed in to the front was Sweet. Tapped it down straight to a Docker, though, in Sharp. We'll have another ball up again as he's tackled immediately. Sweet v Jackson in the ruck. Sweet to the front. Good little tap to Horne-Francis, though. He spilt at the former number 1 pick. Fremantle get it out through Clark. His tumbling kick to the wing. Dropped by Sturt in front. Bounces over the back of the pack. Farrell's the first to get to it. Nice handball inside to Wines. Steadies himself on the logo. Tries to spot a target in Drew and kicks it straight to Sturt.
Sturt to Young. Big don't argue to Butters. Hurried kick across half back. Sat there for Sharp at left half back. Hand passes back inside defensive 50. Conks gathers and then gives it to Sharp again. A couple of metres from the boundary line. Still at left half back for the Dockers. They'll wax and wane with it once more. Sharing it around. Cox marks again to Draper. Marking it full back. Now out to Ryan. So the switch has happened. Ryan now at right half back. Who'll come down the commentary wing. The ball hugs the boundary line but makes its way to Chapman, who marks. Between right half back and centre wing. Nothing really in front of him, so he'll have to chip it short to find O'Meara, just shy of the interchange gates. Only 30 minutes gone. Still that 8-point lead to the Dockers over Port. O'Meara sends it in the direction of Brayshaw. Harassed out of it legally, according to the officials, by Wines. He works it on again. Farrell takes 2 bounces down the commentary wing. Launches a kick deep inside forward 50. Georgiades couldn't mark. Vicentini tries to pick it up. Gathered, though, by Cox. Run down in the tackle. Umpire says play on. It comes to Wagner. Hand passes back to Ryan. The Dockers get away with that. Kicking beyond defensive 50. Bounced off the shins of Sturt. Farrell got a hand pass out the side to Boak for the power. Gave it back by hand again to Wines. Sends it back inside attacking 50. Chapman was up. Wagner at the drop. Umpire spotted a free kick. Over the shoulder, the call against Chapman. He'll have it in the right back pocket. The Dockers 4-2-26. Port 3 straight 18. 31 gone in the first. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
It was a frenetic 60 seconds of football just then. The Dockers defence held up well. Kick from Chapman to the wing. Looking for Jackson. Sweet punches it away. Seconds tick down. Still chance for Port to get a kick inside 50 if they're quick. Rosie has it. Back to a teammate in Evans, and the ball is beaten by the siren as the kick goes inside 50. So first quarter in the books here at Perth Stadium. Final home and away game of the year. The Dockers 4-2-26 lead the power 3 straight 18.
So the goal kickers for the Dockers, all individuals, Amos, O'Driscoll, Voss and Switkowski. While for Port Adelaide, their goals have come from the boot of Willem Drew, from Darcy Burn-Jones and from Willie Rioli. Fremantle 4-2-26. Port 3 straight 18. At quarter time, in the final game of the home and away season, the 8 looks like this. The Dockers are in, the Blues are out. Port right now still hanging on to second spot. The Cats will need the Dockers to score another 20 points or so if they had to snatch second spot off Port Adelaide. There's still a bit to play out in what's been the most intriguing season of AFL football. Wherever you're listening around the nation, good you could join us on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and of course streaming on the ABC Listen app. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
If you love country music, you'll love ABC Country. get a fast car.
It's Australia's home of country music. The music you grew up with.
You'll be the captain.
All the latest country hits.
I ain't proud of all the punches that I've thrown.
And emerging artists.
Because, baby, we've been apart.
24 hours commercial free. ABC Country. It's on your DAB Plus digital radio and the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Taken to ground by Cox in the tackle. Will get up and then hand pass it away to Wines, who ran alongside the boundary line. Clever kick short and marked by Burn Jones, and he'll get 50 as well. Against Clark in the marking contest. He'd taken it. Clark dealt with him. He'll be brought right inside the forward 50. He'll come to be no more than about 15 out from goal here. 45-degree angle to the right. Burn Jones looking for the first goal of the game. 25-17 for the season. Darcy Burn-Jones kicks the goal for Port. Power fans and Blues fans around the country celebrate early on.
Handball over the top to Young. Young for the Dockers going inside 50, looking very targeted, finding one. No. Yes! Switkowski took the mark. He was under enormous pressure, but he held on to it, and he'll go back, set shot, 30 metres out, slightest of angles. Sam Switkowski has the ball, sinks the slipper into it, and punches the air in excitement. The Dockers have their first.
Horn Francis goes to Rioli, but a hand pass again. Wanted Drew, tried to just shovel it forward, gets it back a second time, snaps towards goal, and he's put it through. And Port Adelaide, they hit the front again at the 7-minute mark of the opening term.
Draper came through for Fremantle. He couldn't gather. McKenzie, he stripped of it, holding the ball. The Dockers take the advantage. O'Driscoll steps around Bergman, sets his sights on the goal and nails it. And he runs to the Freo faithful and says, get on your feet.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Lots of text rolling in. 0437 774 774. Weagle supporter Biggles, who's in Tokyo of all places. Welcome, Biggles. I'm totally conflicted, he says. I don't want anyone to win today. Grant's listening in Waterloo. Says, I'm cheering for the Dockers, and if it's a draw, I think the Dockers beat the Blues on percentage. That's correct. That is absolutely correct if it's a draw. So Fremantle will be 52 points. They'll be ahead of the Blues, we assume. Fremantle's percentage won't change from the 113 or thereabouts. The Blues percentage, as it stands, is 110. If you'd like to get in touch with us, please let us know your thoughts, where you're texting in from, what your name is. 0437 774 774. Repeating, Port Adelaide need to make sure that they don't lose by about 20 to 30 points if they are to lock in second spot. If you win, for people going, oh, they've already locked it in. No, if they win, you guarantee yourself second spot. You don't have to worry about the margin. Let's get the thoughts of our experts. Chris Waterman, Sharad Willingham on ABC Sport.
Shaz, I don't think Fremantle are playing brave enough here, particularly off half-back. They should have just flown that ball out a few times and they would have caught Port Adelaide. They're a bit scattered in their back half. And instead they got to half-back and they just slowed the ball up and that played in Port's hands. I mean, you look at the clearances, 12-9 in favour of Fremantle. Inside 50 is 11-18 in favour of Port. I just don't think they're being brave enough of half-back and catch Port out ahead of the play.
Yeah, they're managing to turn it over through the middle of the ground really well, aren't they? And then get it straight back in, which it makes perfect sense for that stat you just brought up with the inside 50s as opposed to clearance. But, yeah, I think that we could definitely see Port Adelaide trying to keep the ball in motion and keep taking the game on. If Freo start employing that, they'll be able to get a couple of out-the-back goals. And if they're not out the back, like we saw Voss with the hit-up, make their backs really accountable and then make it go in a little bit slower. So I think that they've got a massive opportunity to really take the game, almost throw it back a gear and get it going faster.
If Port want to play that way, Fremantle just have to continue doing what they're doing, put pressure around the ball and force long kicks. But as soon as they win it, because Port have taken off, they're out of position behind the ball. You've got to move it quick, get it through the centre, and you'll find that the forwards will have space to lead into. That's where they can get an advantage.
You mentioned some of those team stats, hit-outs 14-8 the way of Port Adelaide. The clearances, though, 12-9 the way of Freo. 18-11 the inside 50 count to Port Adelaide. Individually, Ollie Wines leads all comers on the ground with 10 disposals in game 250. Kane Farrell has 8. Rosie and Burton has 7 apiece. For the Dockers, Luke Ryan, Heath Chapman both have 9. Nathan O'Driscoll, to go with his goal, has 8 disposals.
3 quarters of the season to play out. Right now it's the Dockers in the finals, the Blues missing out. Here we go, second term underway. Sweet wins it down against Jackson for Port. Gathering it though, Brayshaw. Captain today for the Dockers, gave it out towards Jackson. Falling over, was able to work it in the direction of Sharp. They'll play on and move it on towards Sarong. Mark with the ball coming over his shoulder. Sharp running along the boundary line, receives it, then kicks short. Is able to find Switkowski, still hard up against the boundary. They're at right half forward here, Fremantle. Players go surging inside the attacking 50 for the Dockers. That's the way the kick from Sharp will go. And then a push in the back call against Sturt. He stood there but certainly shoved Bergman out of the way. The locals don't like it. The free kick was there and Bergman has it at full back. He'll send it for Port Adelaide towards the southern side. Chapman went up, couldn't mark. He'll gather the ball at the drop though. Hand pass to Fife, runs behind him in the centre square. Chapman again, stabs a kick out to Johnson, bounces his way, 51 out from goal, steps around an opponent, sends it towards full forward, one-on-one battle here. Bergman's done well enough against Sturt to see it off his hands and through for a minor score. Missing to the right-hand side anyway. 4-3-27 to 3 straight 18. Dockers over Port, 1 and a bit gone in the second term.
Burton with the kick-in duties, does terrific job to get it outside defensive 50 to Butters. Took the mark, played on, and we get a handball over the top to Farrell, who just handballs to nobody really. He was looking for Rosie. Brayshaw cut it off and just threw the Port skipper over his shoulder. Came down to Chapman. His kick ricocheted off a player, fell to Georgiades on the wing. Back now to Butters again. Danced away from Fife. Kicks up the wing looking for a teammate in McEntee. Can't find him. The boundary line wings out. Go out of bounds. Fremantle fans, not sure they were calling for insufficient intent. That was incredibly wishful. They almost found a teammate there at Butters in McEntee. Nonetheless, the ball will be spun back in. Jackson over the top of Sweet. Got it down to Brayshaw. Was dispossessed. Managed to toe poke it off the ground though. Jackson gathered. Tried to get it to Frederick. Sweet came through for Port. Took possession. Then was ripped off it. Now Jackson has it. Jones has him. The intensity has gone up a notch again. Both teams refusing to give an inch. Ball tossed up on the wing. Sweet tapped it down straight to Fife. Tried to break the tackle. Was dispossessed holding the ball. Free kick to the Power and their skipper in Connor Rosie.
Rosie looks inboard. Finds an option in the centre square. Just on the defensive edge for Port. It's marked by Burton. He'll pause as every other player, bar Zerk Thatcher, streams ahead of him. The kick is not great. It allows Brayshaw to chop it off in front of Sweet. He's got it at left half back. Moves the Dockers towards the logo. Commentary wing to Fife. Poor hand pass. O'Driscoll did really well to gather. Just gets a hand pass away before he was tackled. Johnson won't gather the bouncing footy first time. Tried to tap it to his advantage. Came out to Farrell. Well wrapped up. That should be holding the ball. Switkowski got him. Farrell gets up with a little shake of the head. Switkowski absolutely got him. There was a chance to deal with it.
They probably should have had an easier inside 50 then. A couple of skill errors led to the Switkowski tackle having to be made. But good tackle. Tough one when the player is down below and you're kind of worried about giving away that high tackle.
Farrell had taken a big step, lost his footing, went down. Switkowski got him. Kick from 44 metres out from goal. He starts in line with the left-hand goal post. That's a poor kick across the face. It's touched through off hands for a minor score. So 4-4. Beg your pardon? 4-3 the Dockers. 4-4. I got it right eventually. 4-4-28 to put Adelaide's 3 straight 18. Big pregnant pause from the scoreboard here.
Ball kick beyond defensive 50. Flying in front, Horn Francis opposed to Sarong. It was off hands. Wasn't paid the mark. Got it to Butters. Inside to Farrell. Then to Drew. Now Bergman. Right in the middle of Perth Stadium. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Ryan out to meet it for the Dockers. Just tapped it away. Straight to Port Adelaide and Mead. Off to Horn Francis. Steadies from 45. Kicks on goal and nails it. Terrific finish by Horn Francis. Terrific play by Port Adelaide. took the ball with pace and finished off. He gets his first. Port Adelaide get their fourth. They're 4 straight 24. The Dockers are 4-4 28. Almost 5 minutes played in the second Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Very good play. He was the outlet from defensive 50, Jason Horne-Francis, and he ended up kicking that goal. That's just anticipating the play, keeping yourself alive in the play and following the ball.
Just a great kind of running of that lane, isn't it? Really just keeping his width outside the contest, and Sarong was the player on him who just got kind of sucked into the corridor trying to follow the footy instead of holding his width.
But it's keeping up with the play. Just don't stop, don't walk, just keep moving.
Beautiful finish.
4-point ball game. Fremantle's still in front. Carlton fans cheering Port on around the country. Sweet won the tap, but it was straight down to Young. Kicks the Dockers towards left half forward. Switkowski marks. Congested forward 50. Suddenly spots an opportunity. Sharp has got free, leading out towards the top of the arc. No one went with him. He takes the mark. And he can have a shot on goal from about 47 metres out.
Just a late option there, wasn't it?
Well, Jace Burgoyne assumed it was going long, so he come off his man. But if you go too deep as a winger, you're vulnerable to that kick right there.
It was exactly.
You and I have both done that, Sheriff.
100%. Let your opposition wingman work nice and hard to try to get the back of the contest and sneak back up.
Yep.
10 goals, 14 for the season for Jeremy Sharp. He's right in front. Puts boot to ball from bang on 50. He's missed to the right-hand side. Minor score. 4-5-29 to 4 straight 24. Not his most annoying miss of the season. Freo fans would remember a chance to beat Collingwood.
It was down the same end of the ground. It was just a slightly harder angle. Back when they drew with Collingwood. Round 11 here at Perth Stadium. Farrell has it for Port. Kicks straight up the middle of the ground from half back and found the chest of Jordan Clark for the Dockers. Clark goes up the spine again to Brayshaw. Drop the mark under pressure from Burton. Port have it back. Mead dances out of traffic. Takes a bounce. Runs into the centre circle. Now kicks long inside the forward 50. The power player lost his feet. In Vicentini, it fell to the ground. Cox out of the Dockers. Got it to Draper. Back to Cox. Right back pocket. Tries to clear. Defensive 50. Mead dropped the mark for Port Adelaide. Dockers have the numbers. Wagner came through, gathered. Got it to Brayshaw. Took the mark and played on to the run of O'Meara. Still inside the centre square. Kicks inside the forward 50. Boss out to meet it. In front. Dropping the mark was Evans. It spills down to Sturt, though, on his right boot. Retreats and finds Brayshaw beyond attacking 50.
Hands it off to Sarong. Gathers, runs the 48 metres out. Sarong misses. Looked all right till right at the very end. A minor score. 4-6 now, the Dockers. 4-6-30 to Port. 4 straight 24. 8 gone in the second.
They are hesitating with these options to keep the ball in motion. And it's letting the Port defenders get into a better position.
Logan Evans with the kicking duties to Farrell. Back to Logan Evans. Francis Evans, by the way, for what it's worth. The sub for Port. Fremantle still with their sub to be made. Michael Walters on the bench for the Dockers. The kick is towards the logo. Commentary wing. Off hands at the back. It's taken by Horne-Francis against Ryan. Tapped it twice. Got it out towards Wines. He was taken high. The umpires missed that completely. They move it on again. Through Georgiades to Wines, now to Horne-Francis, kicks into the right forward pocket. Front position, that's a strong mark. Vicentini had the height and the weight advantage up against Draper and just caressed it in.
It was a funny little kick too, wasn't it, by Horne-Francis? It wasn't, I mean, it was kind of just placed on them to let Vicentini do that power of work that he... like you said, height advantage, weight advantage. We're guessing weight advantage.
I reckon from his height it's a weight advantage. Looking for his first goal in AFL football. The late inclusion. Dante Vicentini sends it straight through the middle. He splits the big sticks. And his Port teammates know what that means. From every corner of the ground, they come to congratulate him. His first goal in AFL football. And it's drawn Port level. 10 minutes into the second term. They're 5 straight 30. The Dockers 4-6-30. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Freo have had 10 shots, and out of the 6 points, they've all been gettable. They've left him on the table. This young bloke, he was just too tall for his opponent then.
Yeah.
With a name like that, he should be in the NBA, I reckon. Dante Vicentini. He'll be playing for the Chicago Bulls or someone like that, but it's a young bloke he's a handful because he's so big and tall.
202 centimetres tall is Dante Vicentini. It is a great name. It was a pretty low-key celebration from him too, considering
his first goal.
His first goal. Now he's in the ruck and he just absolutely barrels it forward off the fist towards half forward. Overrunning it was Wines. Port handball back. Vicentini's going to have to go gather it again in the middle of the ground. Quick little handball to the run of Burton. Runs to 65. Kicks it to the top of the goal square out the back. Unable to take the mark was Horn Francis. He got a hand to it as well. Spilt off his fingers over the goal line for a minor score. The first blemish for Port today, 5-1-31. The Dockers 4-6-30. Port back in front.
Carlton fans cheering Port on. Wagner beyond defensive 50 to left half back, and Fox couldn't take the mark. It's through his hands. Pressure came from McEntee over for a boundary throw in. Right half forward for Port. Power as the Blues proxy. Carlton hope to make the finals. Dockers hoping to win today and make it themselves. Vicentini got there first. The throwing was a bit short. Came out the side, though, and taken by Burton. Was tackled immediately by Fife. There'll be a ball up. Still at right half forward for Port. Put up into the air. Vicentini with a more telling tap. Now the umpire spotted a holding decision. That's going the way of the Dockers to Reid. Liam Reedy gets it. The Bronx cheer around the ground. Liam Reedy with it at the moment. The free kicks have been pretty even. Port 7, Fremantle 6 as Reedy flares it out towards O'Meara. Has it at left half back. 2 or 3 metres in from the boundary. Sting gone out of the game for the moment. Long kick towards left half forward. Jackson behind Adelaide. Neither could mark. Jackson picks it up off the deck. Tried to get the arms free. Bounced off the shins of Drew. Taken by Young. Hands it off to Frederick. Young provides the Shepherd. Allows Frederick the shot at goal. And Frederick delivers. That's a great kick. 45-degree angle. 40 out. Young with it. Unselfish. And then Frederick finally for Fremantle took a goal opportunity and put his name on the list of goal kickers. The Dockers have their 5th. They're back in front. A 3rd lead change of the game. 5-6-36. Freo. Port 5-1-31. 13 gone in the second.
Well,
slightly fortuitous bounce in that contest.
Yeah, I was just thinking that this 10 minutes, Port have just about owned it. I'm thinking, sitting here watching it, thinking, Freo need a spark from somewhere just to get them going. Hopefully that's it, because they've been owned in this first 10 minutes. Can they just get some ascendancy in half-time and break this lead apart?
It's great by Young, though, wasn't it? The handball, then the Shepherd to allow him to come back instead of
back inside.
But Luke Jackson hasn't done a lot, but he just imposed himself in the contest and made himself... He's just too big. He's got to get involved some way or another.
Reedy v. Vicentini in the middle of the ground. Vicentini doing well on the ruck, the big man. Tapped it down, was trying to find Wines, couldn't gather. Now Vicentini goes back in. Is tackled, or the ball up. Toss back up again, this time Reedy for the Dockers. Tapped it towards Switkowski, and Burton has him. Plenty of numbers in the middle of the ground here. Dockers have that 5-point lead. Back up again, Reedy tapped it over the head of Sarong. Jones let it go straight through him for Port. O'Meara onto Switkowski for Fremantle. Kick towards the goal square. Amos couldn't quite get away from Zirk Thatcher to take the mark or kick the goal, and it bobbles off his hands for a minor score. So 5-7-37 Fremantle, 5-1-31 Port Adelaide.
I just need to... They're going to come at the kicker, don't they? There's Shaz, if you're a forward.
Is that the Josh Tracy absence?
Yeah, potentially.
Logan Evans beyond defensive 50, comes to a leer, kicks to the wing. Spills down off hands. Wines gathered. Picked it up off the deck. Threw it on the boot. Kicked towards right half forward. Sliding out. Trying to get a hand pass free was McEntee. Still bouncing around. Rioli's trying to get there, and happily enough to take it over the boundary line as Walker. Deep in the right forward pocket here for Port Adelaide. Brayshaw's coming back on the ground. The smattering of applause you heard around. Thrown back in. Mother Ruck with a telling tap. Walker went to ground. Trying to tackle Rioli. Came out the side. Mead threw it on the boot from deep in the right forward pocket. It was almost a remarkable goal. He's only missed by a metre or two to the right. Had no right to get anywhere near that. Hard up against the boundary on the run. City end of the ground. 5-7-37 the Dockers. 5-2-32 Port Adelaide. 15 gone in the second. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Ryan's kick from the goal square straight up the middle to Chapman. Has it 40 out from his own goal. Bit of cloud cover over Perth Stadium. A little bit overcast. You can feel the nervous tension in the Dockers crowd as the ball goes through Ryan to Sharp. Just beyond right half back. Just take his time assessing the options. Wanted something inboard again. Port Adelaide covered it off well. So Sharp instead takes off, plays on, kicks down the wing. Sturt jumped in front, couldn't mark. Off the hands of Vicentini to Bergman. He spilt it. Young coming through for the Dockers was taken high by Lockie Jones. So wins the free kick as Hayden Young spots something at centre half forward. Sturt takes the mark. His opponent in Wine slipped over. He has the ball in his hands. He stands just inside the centre square. The umpire makes no sense. Pulled him back on his line, which should be play on if you've stepped off your line, but it wasn't. So Sturt still has the ball, kicks it into the man of the mark. It ricochets inside the forward 50. Bergman out to meet it for the power. Gave it to Boat. Little tumbling snap towards Butters. Cleverly just tapped it up to himself with his foot, then turns it over. Sarong for Fremantle. He turns it over as well. Back to Butters. Now Burn-Jones kicks it towards half forward. Tumbling ball off Radaglia, and Wagner wins it back for the Dockers.
Kicks it out towards the southern wing. Sharp's out there and marks. Sends it over the top for the run of O'Driscoll. He marks and looks to play on. Gets away from Boat. Takes a bounce. Runs inside forward 50. Kick was poor. Goodness me. Burgoyne able to mark uncontested at the top of his defensive goal square. There were other options. Burgoyne moves it into the left back pocket. Now, there's a bit of a problem here because Aliir is down still.
He called to the bench as well.
Slipped over just before that mark was taken by Burgoyne as Burton sends it towards the commentary wing. Hacked forward here by Burgoyne. Getting onto it quickly at pace as Wagner, and then loses it up against Burn-Jones. Great hand pass forward from Wines. Taken then by Burgoyne. Wonderful smother Clark across his legs. Ball stops just inside the boundary line. Amira picks it up. Clark has to go back by hand. Now a chance for Draper. His kick smothered. Came again to Burgoyne. Got it back to Wines. Pops it into the right forward pocket. And an opportunity here for Georgiades to go back and have a shot from about a metre in from the boundary and about 45 from goal. He stepped off his line. He doesn't know about it. And Ryan has tackled him over the line. And he'll go and high-five all his Dockers teammates. He was caught absolutely unawares then. Didn't see Ryan coming. Didn't know he'd stepped off his line. Got tackled. There's a throw in. There's an enormous roar for Luke Ryan.
Ball spun back in off the hands of Sweet. Came to Fife. His handball though missed Switkowski. Bobbles off the Freo small forward. Was able to get it back to Clark. Then Fife handballs up the wing to Brayshaw. Now Sarong under pressure. Puts it out in front of Young, and the ball's coming back. There's a free kick. I think it will go the way of the Dockers. There was a late hit.
Fife was just dragging Connor Rosie along the ground for a moment.
Or it is going to the power. So it is going to Zach Butters now.
Was it Butters that he was dragging?
Rosie was also in the pack. He sprinted forward, as you often see with the power skipper. Butters has the free kick for Port. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Georgiades takes the mark. And this time he'll be very careful not to come off his line. He stares straight back at the umpire. Says, "Where do you want me?"
I'm not entirely sure what the free kick was for. I did see the... sorry, I know what it's for. It was for high contact, but I don't know when it happened.
There's a chain of handballs coming from the Dockers. And there was a bit to go on with after it. Mitch Georgiades, 15 metres out. He's on a 45-degree angle. He's kicked plenty of goals this year, and he adds another one to his tally. Back into the side, Mitch Georgiades gets his first goal of the day. He's got 38 for the season. And the Power are back in front. 6-2-38. Port Adelaide 5-7-37. Fremantle 20 minutes played in the second. A cash voted down on the boundary.
Aaliyah is just making his way down to the Port Adelaide rooms now with the medicos, and he's still struggling to put much weight on that right leg. He's moving a little bit better than he was when he came off the ground, but he's still limping quite badly.
Looks like he got stuck in the grass there. Just may have tweaked it. He might be all right. I was thinking an Achilles or something earlier. He might have done something. Fremantle need to grab some composure here. They just messed up that 5 minutes of football.
Carlton fans will be delighted. So too Port Adelaide fans.
Is that a 666 warning? Or do they just let him reset if the player went down the wrong end? No, 666 warning.
Officially shown by the umpire in the middle. He throws it up. Sweet goes against Jackson. Jackson emerges with it. Hand pass to Brayshaw. Gets it to Fife. Back to Brayshaw. Went behind him. He had to gather. Tackled by Farrell. Got a hand pass out. Burgoyne got in the way. O'Driscoll picked it up off the deck. Gave it to O'Meara. Gets run down by Burgoyne. Just got a kick away. It'll bounce it right full forward. Sturt tries to get there against Evans. Logan Evans drops the footy. Should be holding the ball. Goodness me. Play on for Port Adelaide beyond defensive 50. It came to Johnson, back to Sharp for the Dockers. Kicks towards full forward. Punch came up at the back from Evans, then slapped forward again by Radigalia, only as far as Burn-Jones. He hacked it off the ground. Farrell's hand pass ricocheted away unintentionally to Voss. Had to hand pass it back to Wagner. He's still at right half forward. Kicks high up into the air, into the right forward pocket. Sturt flew, couldn't mark. Jackson at the drop. Hand pass was meant for Switkowski. Players piling on top of that. Umpire will ball it up. I'm still reckon that there should have been a free kick here. Paid. Frederick's tackle on Logan. Oh, goodness me. On Logan Evans was an absolute free kick missed.
Horn Francis able to clear it from defence in the middle of the ground. Walker got a bad bounce for Fremantle. Eventually went back and got it. Showed a bit of pace and dash. Kicks now for Frederick inside the forward 50. Couldn't take the mark. But Evans, this time, is called for the infringement on Frederick. Got him over the shoulder. He got away with what seemed to be very obvious dropping the ball decision a moment ago. But this time, Michael Frederick wins the free kick. Will go back. Set shot kick from about 45 metres out. Slight angle to the left.
I think the free kick was there. I don't think it's a follow-up on the one they missed. It was certainly there. He came over, if not pushing the back.
Definitely pushing the back.
He's already got one to be the first multiple goal kicker of the day. That kick won't do it. He pulls it badly to the left. He misses everything. Does Michael Frederick's been pretty accurate this year. That's not one of his best. Out of bounds on the full. Port Adelaide have the ball back in the back pocket. They lead by 1 point.
So Port come towards the commentary wing. Flying Jackson can get hands to it. Draper missed it as well. Chapman picks it up. Gives it to O'Driscoll for the Dockers. Back by hand to Cox. All the way back to Clark at left half back. He runs across the defensive point of the centre square and sends it to Walker inside his defensive 50. Out to the right back pocket to Sharp. Pops it to Brayshaw. They've headed to the southern wing. Brayshaw takes a bounce. Drew a player to him. Worked it on to Sharp. Popped it up in the air to O'Driscoll. Coming the other way. Farrell punched it down. Came to Boak. Farrell bursting by. Receives the hand pass. Runs to left half forward. Kicks in the direction of Rioli. Front position. Beautifully done there. Walker got by one. Just got a hand pass away. In trouble though. Getting it on was Butters. Then turned over again. O'Meara was able to gather. Got it to O'Driscoll for the Dockers. Worked it out to Sharp at right half back.
So Sharp goes up the wing to the Dockers, now into the middle of the ground, punched away from Switkowski. Fife was there, tapped it back towards Switkowski. Handball forward to Matthew Johnson, runs to 50, takes the bounce, kicks on goal. Can he put it through? No, he can't. The Fremantle fans were ready to rise. They couldn't. It was a minus score. They are kicking themselves out of it at the moment, the Dockers. 5-8-38 Fremantle. Scores are level. 6-2-38 Port Adelaide.
Cash voted are downstairs.
Just an update on Aaliyah. It's an ankle issue that they're looking at in the rooms, but no update on whether he'll be able to continue just yet.
Plenty of advice from over your left shoulder. The cash always handy to hear. Jones stabs it to Logan Evans. Runs to the edge of the defensive 50, kicks towards the logo, commentary wing. Jackson went up, couldn't mark. Spilled down to Chapman. Tried to get it to O'Meara. Bergen did well to knock it down. It came to Draper, though, of the Dockers. Worked it to O'Driscoll. And then tackled to ground by Drew. Right beneath our broadcast position on the northern wing. Put up into the air. Both rucks missed it. Sweet bent down, picked it up. Tried to give it to Drew. Bounced off him. Taken by Horn Francis. Umpire says we'll ball it up once more. Sweet against Jackson. Sweet got it down. Gathered it. Handed to Burn Jones with a hand pass. Kick towards right half forward. Bounced off Radaglia. Onto the logo. Drew is under some pressure. O'Driscoll couldn't take it either. Scooped up there by Butters. Lovely hand pass to Mead. He's at centre half forward. Spears the kick inside forward 50. And he hits Georgiades on the chest. He can go back, and from right in front, he can kick on goal from no more than 45 out.
That's the order of the day. Georgiades at one end, Jai Amos at the other, and whoever's going to get that clean ball movement just has to hit that. There's 4 or 5 goals sitting there for each team if they want it.
And they're just taking their opportunities when they're given them, Port Adelaide, aren't they?
8 points and 1 out in the full, Freo.
Georgiades comes in. Looking for his second. Kicks on its way. Goal umpire does not have to move. Port Adelaide take the lead back. They're out to a 6-point advantage at the 27-minute mark of the second. Port a 7-2-44. Fremantle 5-8-38. Port by 6 as Carlton fans feel a little bit more hope fill their lives.
Just unnecessary errors as well, just by coughing up the footy. O'Driscoll in that contest, Brayshaw a couple of times, just hasn't had that ball security at front of mind, I don't think. I don't know, maybe they're trying to keep the ball alive and keep it moving, but you can't do it to the extreme where you can get scored against like that.
Won a Waffle Colts grand final on this ground, did Mitch Georgiades for Subiaco before he was drafted across to Port Adelaide. He's happy in South Australia as he gets the goal. Ball back in the middle. Brayshaw took it. A little don't argue. Gave it back to Reedy, the ruckman. Kick inside forward 50, looking for his big man partner in Jackson. It bounced away from him and went to Evans. His kick up the wing, bounced over a couple of players. Sweet was able to gather. Then he lost it as Sarong came in. Now Port have it back. Mead gets it to Burgoyne. Now Rosie back over the top to the run of Mead. Has to step inside Chapman. Did well. Gets onto his right boot. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Looking for Radaglia. Can't mark. Off hands. Brayshaw accidentally trips. Umpire says play on. Radaglia takes it. Gives it to Drew. Handball out to Horn Francis. Gets away from Frederick. Snap on goal. Can't bounce. Back the right side of the post. So minor score 7-3-45. Fremantle 5-8-38. I think it was more accidental. He
landed on somebody.
It is contact below the knees, technically, I think the rule would be, though. But they get away with it. And Fremantle have it back. They trail by 7.
It's been a few interesting decisions today. It's another one of them. Ryan, long kick in. Non-defensive 50. Off hands at left half back from the pack. Down to Brayshaw to Sarong for the Dockers. From centre half back goes up the corridor to Frederick. He'll kick long. He wants Switkowski to run onto it. He gathers in the direction of Fife at full forward. Great archiving out to his left. Caressed the ball into his chest as he fell forward. And Nat Fife can have a shot at goal from no more than 15 out.
Beautiful mark, wasn't it? Falling back, left hand out. I thought it was going to be another wasted opportunity for Fremantle, but the legend stood up.
Is this a gimme?
Nope, not for Nat Fife.
Give it to him.
Nat Fife kicks it.
Never in doubt.
Not sure I'd go as far as that, but the Dockers have moved back to being within 1 point. 7-3-45, Port Adelaide. Fremantle is 6-8-44. Port's lead remains 1 point. And that is half-time. The siren sounding amidst the enormous roar as Nat Fife kicks the goal for the Dockers, dual Brownlow medalist and their former captain.
It's worth mentioning because he's a cult figure. He draws level with Clive Waterhouse on Fremantle's all-time goal-kicking list now, does Nat Fife.
Wow.
With that goal. So 178 goals apiece for the club.
How many behinds does Nat have?
Nat has 146 and Clive has 135.
Interesting.
That is surprising that it's not that far apart. However, Clive played significantly less games by about 134.
I love Nat Fife, as you all know, but there's no such thing as a gimme when he's that close to goal.
He was in the goal square.
What's that mean? You know that's true.
As I said, I thought they wasted this opportunity. You just turned around.
I was expecting the snapshot, though.
Yeah, so was I.
He went the drop punt.
He does normally prefer to do that. If he was on the run, I'd have backed him every time. It's when he has to go back with a set shot. Akash is shouting at me in my ears, Akash, I'm coming. Having serious discussions about one of my favourite players up here. What do you want?
Sorry, just to update you, Kane Farrell's night is over. He's done a hamstring and was looking quite distraught and getting pats on his head from the teammates as Port Adelaide left the field. And Francis Evans' warm-up top is off. He's in the full playing kit, and if you look out the window, you'll see him doing some warm-ups out in the forward 50. So he will be out on the ground after half-time with Kane Farrell subbed out with a hamstring injury.
Thank you very much.
That's big because Dan Houston is out for 5 weeks, and now if you lose Farrell, those two off the half-back line heading into a final series of Port, that is massive.
That is huge news. No wonder Akash was shouting at me. 7-3-45 Port Adelaide. The Dockers 6-8-44. Half-time here at Perth Stadium. The goal kickers look like this. For Port, 2 to Georgiades, singles to Rioli, to Horne-Francis, to Drew, to Burne-Jones, to Vicentini. And for Fremantle, their goal kickers Amos, O'Driscoll, Frederick, Voss and Switkowski. The Dockers led by 8 points at quarter time. They trail by 1 at the half. If the season finished right now, Carlton would be playing finals football. That is how close it might be for both the Dockers and for the Blues. If you've just joined us, Carlton lost earlier today to St Kilda by 2 points. Jack Higgins' goal, 12 seconds from the end, giving the Saints the win to keep this a live game of football, particularly as far as Fremantle is concerned. As we also speak, Port Adelaide happily nestled in second spot. They'll get a home qualifying final next week. The other game earlier today, the Western Bulldogs beat GWS by 37 points, which means the Bulldogs locked themselves in a spot in the finals. There's still a half of football to come. The fates of 2 clubs will hang on how that pans out. Repeating here, half-time, Port Adelaide 7-3-45 to the Dockers 6-8-44. Let's pause wherever you are and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Israel has launched early morning airstrikes across southern Lebanon in what it says was a preemptive attack on Hezbollah ahead of an expected missile assault by the militant group. Larry Buttrose has more.
Despite the Israeli attacks, Hezbollah says it launched hundreds of rockets and drones towards Israel to avenge the killing of one of its top commanders in Beirut last month. There are concerns the heavy exchange of fire could spark an all-out war that could draw in the United States, Iran and militant groups across the region. It could also severely damage efforts to forge a ceasefire in Gaza, where Israel has been at war with Hamas, an ally of Hezbollah, for more than 10 months.
A Russian regional governor says 5 people have been killed and 12 others injured after Ukrainian forces shelled a town in the Belgorod region. The governor says 3 children are among the injured. 9 people have been hospitalised, 6 of them in a serious condition. There's no immediate comment from Ukraine. Police say they're trawling through video footage of an incident in southern Sydney involving a car crash and multiple stabbings. A man in his 50s allegedly stabbed his domestic partner while driving at Engadine, colliding with another car in the process. A confrontation involving bystanders ensued before police arrived and apprehended the man. Police have commended those people for intervening.
A number of witnesses mentioned that the car was driving quite erratically at the time, and we believe that's when the assault was occurring in the car, and as a result they then collided with another vehicle.
Severe thunderstorms are moving across southeastern Australia, bringing large hailstones, damaging winds and heavy rain. The Bureau of Meteorology says a cold front moving across southern New South Wales and central and northern Victoria is causing the storm cells, which could trigger flash flooding. Conditions are expected to continue into the night as the cells move southeasterly. The Bureau is urging people to stay away from waterways and fallen power lines, as well as remaining indoors away from windows. The Victorian Premier has defended the way the government is handling its major infrastructure projects after it was revealed it was warned 2 years ago about potential cost blowouts. The state opposition has obtained Freedom of Information documents that show that in 2022, Office of Projects Victoria told Treasurer Tim Pallas it had identified expected skills shortages, material price increases and the impact on the broader economy. Premier Jacinta Allen says the government is all about getting on and delivering the much-needed projects.
From time to time, there will be changed circumstances that will absolutely add some challenges to project delivery. Now, the approach we take to project delivery is to get on, address the challenges and get on and deliver those projects.
Advocacy organisation Tas Farmers says some farms are still without power, even though Tas Networks is offering generators amid ongoing outages. Members of the communications, electrical and plumbing unions have been refusing to turn the power back on during outages as they push for a 35% pay rise from state-owned electricity company Tas Networks. More than 250 customers around the state are without power, mostly in the northwest. Tas Farmers Chief Executive Nathan Kuhlman says farms that haven't been able to secure enough generators from Tas Networks are being affected financially.
In some cases, Tas Networks have been able to help, but in other cases, they haven't been able to find sufficient numbers of generators to keep a whole of farm operating.
Tas Networks has labelled the industrial action inappropriate, but says it will put forward a revised pay offer to its workers this week. Returning overseas, and police in Pakistan say that a bus carrying Muslim pilgrims has fallen into a ravine in the southwest of the country, killing at least 12 people and injuring 32 others. Police say the driver lost control after the brakes of the bus failed. Bus accidents are common in Pakistan, and this one occurred only days after 28 Pakistani pilgrims were killed in a crash in neighbouring Iran while heading to Iraq. An AFL goal umpire has been left bloodied after being hit in the head with a water bottle thrown by a fan. Umpire Stephen Piperno was subbed out of this afternoon's Carlton-St Kilda game during the second quarter. The fan who threw the full water bottle left the stadium before he could be reached by security. Police have asked nearby patrons for possible footage. The AFL Integrity Unit is investigating the incident. St Kilda beat the Blues 76-74 thanks to a late goal, which has imperilled Carlton's chances of making the finals. This is ABC News.
Sport and Spice brings you the big picture conversations and plenty of fun every week.
My life flipped upside down, kind of overnight.
My dad, unfortunately, broke his neck surfing.
She's kind of synonymous with success.
Okay, this is my job of hurting myself every day. That's not an easy thing for the mind to wrap around.
A lot of us were saying, well, where's the conversation around the girls going?
Hosted by me, Declan Byrne and Lavender Bai, listen to Sport and Spice on the ABC Listen app or find it in the Best of ABC Sport folder wherever you get your podcasts.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Ball kick beyond defensive 50, flying in front Horn France as opposed to Sarong. It was off hands, wasn't paid the mark. Got it to Butters, inside to Farrell, then to Drew, now Bergman. Right in the middle of Perth Stadium, kicks it inside the forward 50. Ryan out to meet it for the Dockers, just tapped it away. Straight to Port Adelaide and Mead. Off to Horn Francis, steady from 45, kicks on goal and nails it. Terrific finish by Horn Francis.
Through Georgiades to Wines, now to Horn Francis, kicks into the right forward pocket. Front position, that's a strong mark. Vicentini had the height and the weight advantage up against Draper and just caressed it in. Looking for his first goal in AFL football. The late inclusion, Dante Vicentini sends it straight through the middle. He splits the big sticks. Bounced off the shins of Drew, taken by Young. Hands it off to Frederick. Young provides the Shepherd, allows Frederick the shot at goal, and Frederick delivers. That's a great kick, 45-degree angle, 40 out. Young with it, unselfish. And then Frederick finally for Fremantle took a goal opportunity. The Dockers have their fifth. Switkowski to run onto it. He gathers in the direction of Fife at full court. Great archiving out to his left. Caressed the ball into his chest as he fell forward. And Nat Fife can have a shot at goal from no more than 15 out. Nat Fife kicks it. The Dockers have moved back to be within 1 point.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Here's how we stand at half-time at Perth Stadium. The final game, game 207 of 207 in the home and away season of 2024. Port Adelaide lead by a point, 7-3-45 to the Dockers, 6-8-44. If the result stays this way with Port Adelaide victorious, they will finish second and get themselves a home qualifying final. Carlton will play finals football. If the Dockers win, nothing may change for Port depending on how much the Dockers win by. But Fremantle will replace the Blues in the top 8 and they will be playing finals football. There's still a lot to come in this second half. 7-3-45 Port, 6-8-44 the Dockers. Let's get the thoughts of our experts on Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Dual premiership player Chris Waterman from the West Coast Eagles and a premiership player with Collingwood, Sharad Wellingham.
There was a lack of taking their opportunities on Freo. I think that they're playing a reasonably competitive style of football, getting it in there. I think the inside 50s evened up a little bit. We got 26-29. So they stopped Port going in there as much, but when Port went in there, they just huge efficiency, wasn't it? When they went in there, they took the chances they were given, and Fremantle just didn't do the same.
They're not going to survive next week or beyond playing this style of football. They've got to be braver and really go at Port and put them on the back foot. Having said that, they've left for the 8 points and 1 out of the 4. They've probably left 5 good ones on the out there. But they're not. They're down at half-time by a point.
But that's the pressure of the game.
Exactly right. And they've second-guessed themselves around half-back and through the middle where they should have just kept going straight through Port and taken them on and make a mistake down the other end of the ground where they can hold them up. But they've had 20 more possessions. They've had 6 more clearances and they're behind on inside 50s by 3. I just think Caleb Sarong's only had the 7 possessions, not enough through the midfield. Whereas Horn Francis got his game going then. Butters is 13. Burton and Farrell, who looks like he's done a hamstring and is out of the game. That's a big loss for them. Burton 14 and Ollie Wines has been a workhorse with 15s through there. Andy Brayshaw looks like feels like he's doing a lot by himself in the midfield, although Nathan O'Driscoll's been good on the wing. Jager's had 13, but just got to be hitting the runners coming past and give Jai and Sturt and these guys a chance to lead. They're going to lead up at the kicker more often, and we saw Georgiades do it. That's the answer to it, I think.
And if they don't hesitate through the midfield and come off half back, it makes it so much more predictable for the forwards, doesn't it?
If the forwards know you're playing on, they take off before you've even turned or given the handball.
And it gives them that advantage against the backman.
And it's super hard to defend.
Exactly, and it's only a minuscule hesitation. It's not like they're stuffing around with it and fumbling around. It's a minuscule hesitation, isn't it? It's not giving the handball straight away. It's going back off the mark and then going and giving the handball.
Well, as soon as you don't, the play stops and they get a chance to reset straight away. That within 2 seconds, Port go, okay, they're not playing on. Reset, set up our defence. I feel like Fremantle could open this game up, but I'm just not sure they're going to.
Because they don't have the courage to do it yet.
They're not playing brave enough football. They could just really peel back Port here and take them to the cleaners. But
mind you, on the other side of the coin, I think that when Port flick into their gear, they look almost like they can't be stopped by Fremantle. When they get the ball in motion, when they get going and they look really slick, their ability to keep the ball going and then get those nice inside 50s is really impressive. They're just not having to do it as much.
Well, they've got an Aaliyah we're not sure about. They've got a Farrell who's had 13 in the first half and damaging off the half-back flank.
With 380 metres gained already.
Yeah, and 75% effectiveness. They've got... Asaba has had 2 possessions. Now, he went back and covered for Aaliyah when he was off, but he's gone back forward. Willie, not much. So you don't want their Port midfielders to get on top here and start opening up Fremantle's defence.
I'll give you a stat. I'm not sure if a cash voted R has also just spotted it and told Clint as well, but the stat that we've got, I've checked it is correct. Port Adelaide is the only team in the competition that has a perfect record of converting halftime leads into wins this season. They are 8 from 8 when leading at halftime. So Carlton fans, that'll make you very happy. Port fans as well. Fremantle fans, not so much.
What also should make both Port Adelaide and Carlton fans happy is Aliir has run back out with the team from the rooms at half-time. So Aliir with the problem, either a right ankle, right leg problem, he had to go down to have it looked at, seemed to have his foot just caught in the turf trying to get to a marking contest. Was off the ground for the second half of the second quarter, but he's back out there now for Port Adelaide, so that is some good news.
Well, Farrell's going to be a big loss for Port, I feel, in the second half. Now,
time.
If, and I'm just going to throw this one out there, they've had to use their sub already. I'm giving it 10 or 15 minutes. If Patrick Fossell, even though he's kicked the goal, cannot impose himself on this game, with the way that Fremantle are playing, made some mistakes by foot and hand, I'm injecting Nicky Walters into this game late in the third quarter, get him to get his hands on the ball so they all know he's there in the last quarter and put some class into this game. That could be the one defining moment for Freo. If they keep poking around the way they're going, just get a goal in front, back to evens, couple behind. They just need to find someone who can just give them that class with the ball in hand, and that could be Sun sitting on the bench at the moment.
And back to Sarong, he needs to lift his impact on the game. Is he being sat on out of it, or is he just struggling to get involved? I haven't really noticed anybody.
I haven't seen any tagging whatsoever. No. I don't know whether Mead's been going to him or not. He's been floating around the middle. If not, he needs to change his way and go to Butters, go and sit on Butters, do something different, force a change on himself. Andy Brayshaw's had 19 and just can't do it all by himself. He needs Young's only 10, which is not...
Yeah, only 3 touches that quarter.
Yeah, he dropped out of it a little bit. Just felt like Port owned the first 10 or 11 minutes and Freo just didn't do enough to... But they didn't get away, Port, so...
That's the other thing, you think that none of the Fremantle young stars have really stood up in that quarter, and they're only behind by 1 point.
Fremantle have got more younger players that haven't been in these situations compared to Port, who have been playing finals for a long time now. Even the Butters and the Rosies and these guys are only young. Willie Rioli's been around for a bit, so... But the Fremantle boys, young Jono and these guys, they just got to... It's a game of footy. They've just got to take it on. And go and get... it's the old saying, how do you get involved? Just go and get your hands on the footy.
Ken Hinkley in his 12th season is on the cusp of a 7th finals berth. And watch him making his way back down to the bench after speaking to the Port Adelaide players. They're in a tight huddle. The forward 50 Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. The Dockers still going about their warm-up to the right of our broadcast position. Mitch Turner's got the other numbers in front of him. What do they tell us, Mitch?
Some of the team stats here: disposals 189 to 166 Fremantle's way. The contested possessions also the Dockers' way, 76 to 62. The tackle count also favouring the home side, 31 to 29. The hit-outs still favouring Port Adelaide, 23 to 11, but the clearances going the way of the Dockers, 20 to 14, and the inside 50s 29 to 26 the way of Port Adelaide. Individually, Ollie Wines has 15 disposals for Port, Ryan Burton 14, Kane Farrell and Butters have 13, but Farrell won't add to that, being subbed out. Brayshaw for the Dockers has 19, the most on the ground. Heath Chapman 15, O'Driscoll 14, and as mentioned, Caleb Sarong just 7, has gone 73 games straight with 20 or more disposals, or an AFL all-time record.
And from Melbourne, sends us a text. AM 0437 774 774. Enjoying the call. Goodness sake, guys, if the grand final is anything like these last few games, we're in for a wild ride. My team is not in it, by the way. This is a cheeky one. Do let us know your name. Carlton fans might be cheering for Port, but the rest of the nation is cheering for Freo. And then the little sunglasses emoji, which is always amusing. The Dockers are making and wasting opportunities time after time, says Bill on 0437 774 774. They certainly are. And had a few more of those opportunities. Razor from Rockingham, I'd like the commentators to be passionate about free kicks that are not paid to opposing teams when they come to Perth. Oh, we've been called biased again. Good on you, Razor. Thanks very much. Wouldn't be a game if that didn't happen. Here's Mitch Turner with you on Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Port Adelaide with a 1-point win as the second half gets underway. Tap to advantage to Butters. Runs out of the middle. Takes the bounce. Kicks on goal. It's away to the right. And it's a minor score. So the lead doubled from 1 to 2 for Port Adelaide. Blemish to start the second half. 7-4-46. Port Adelaide 6-8-44. Fremantle only played 20 seconds in the second half. Back to you, Clint Wheeldon.
Here goes Liam Ryan up the corridor. Good kick. Wants Fife. Bounces past him. He's able to gather, though. Hand passes to Frederick. Hand pass not great. Down the throat of Burgoyne. He's able to release Logan Evans. Port had it across half back. Now it's with Sweet. Hand passes it forward. Bergman for Port. Kicks inside forward 50. Goes past Radagalia. Taken by Draper. He's tackled to ground. Ball up with a call. Inside Port's forward 50. Georgiades affecting the tackle. Throw it up into the air. Sweet got it down. O'Meara couldn't get a kick away. Neither could Chapman. And umpire, just as Horne-Francis was about to take it away, decides we'll ball it up again. Sweet with a more telling tap. Down to O'Meara for the Dockers. Threw it on the boot. Kick towards left half back. Spills out towards the boundary line. Umpire says deliberate. Here you go, Razor. Free kick to Port at right half forward. Burne-Jones has it. He's about 60 from goal, probably 2 kicks away. He'll kick into the right forward pocket. They fly from everywhere. No mark taken, off hands and over for a boundary throw in. About 2 metres to the right of Port Adelaide's goals. They're kicking to the left of our broadcast position in this second term, and they lead by 2 points. 2 gone in the third.
What do we do for a neutral ball, like a ball in? We still get excited. It's inside. Port's attacking 50. Both rucks stand about 20 out from the goal. In front, Reedy. Sweet got a hand over it. Chapman for the Dockers. Dispossessed. Drew. He couldn't gather either. Now Sharp comes in. Was able to get it to Sarong. Needs to get industrial in the second half. Kicks it beyond defensive 50. Jackson couldn't take the mark. Roved his own ball. It's a little hot to Switkowski. Port have the numbers. They do win out. Burgoyne. Handball to Rioli. Now the kick inside the forward 50. Too low for Georgiades. Pops over to Butters, though. Sees something he likes at the top of the 50. It's Boak. Can't mark. Able to gather, though. Kicks inside. And a nice little chip over the top. He's able to find a teammate. 25 metres out from goal. Slight angle. And it is the sub in Francis Evans. Onto the ground looking for an immediate impact.
Another case of that wingman for Port Adelaide holding nice wide position and a bit of disconnect from the Fremantle forwards not coming up to be accountable.
14.
Evan,
Yep.
You go.
Since a 14th game for the season for the former Cat. They picked him up as a delisted free agent. Did Port Adelaide. Francis Evans repays the faith and puts it through. 8-4-52, Port Adelaide 6-8-44. Fremantle lead out to 8 points for Port. 3 minutes played into the second half. Experts, Chris Waterman and Sharad Wellingham, as you were saying.
Well, yeah, Travis Boak, his experience just told him to stay out of here and keep my position, and he just held his width. I'm not sure where Nathan O'Driscoll went, but it was a good kick out. I did notice that Jackson did start in the ruck and Reedy forward. They've now swapped that back over, and I have noticed while Caleb Sarong is low in possessions, Willem Drew is the one that's been sitting on him and has done a good job on many a good player so far this year.
Reedy against Sweet. They line up across the centre circles for the restart. 8 points now, Port's lead from the bounce. Sweet went early, Reedy stayed down, had 2 goes at it. Fife went in to lend some assistance. Hand pass, trying to go backwards. Drew got in the way. Had it on in turn to Wines. Now to Butters. Kick towards the outer side. Perfectly weighted. Burgoyne marked, sliding by it. Sharp allowed Burgoyne to get free. He kicked into the right forward pocket. Going up was Draper. Threw the ball out more than anything else. It came to Sarong. Tried to get a hand pass away. Sharp's able to pick it up. He's tackled to ground. I reckon he's in trouble. He is holding the ball. Had time to get rid of it. Looked to take on Burgoyne, and Burgoyne got him. A couple of metres in from the boundary at right half forward. Burgoyne for Port Adelaide. Puts it towards right full forward. Georgiades came. Couldn't mark at the back of the pack. Ryan stepped over the top of it. Back to Georgiades. Got it out to Butters from the right forward pockets. Kicks across the face and misses. A minor score. Port Adelaide 8-5-53. The Dockers 6-8-44. 5 gone in the third.
Short kick out to O'Meara. We saw Georgiades take a massive grab here against the Dockers a couple of years ago. He was one of the Mark of the Year contenders. He might have ended up winning that year. It's Georgiades. Kick now from the Dockers goes up the wing over the back of the pack. Leah kicks it back inside the forward 50. Horne-Francis and Chapman flew. They both went in the fist. It spills out to Evans. 45 out, tries to lower the eyes and find Georgiades. Couldn't get him on the full. The power forward tries to tap it to himself. Ryan with the Dockers on hands and knees. Got it back to Cox. Under pressure. Feeds the handball back to Jordan Clark. Now a cute kick on the left foot. Was looking for a teammate in Switkowski. It was stolen by Logan Evans. Kicked to the top of the goal square. Ratugolea is there. So too Horne-Francis. Ratugolea gets it to the rising star. And Horne-Francis puts it through for number 2. Terrific work by Asaba Ratugolea. And Horne-Francis finished it off. Port Adelaide out to a 15-point lead. 9-5-59. The Dockers 6-8-44. 6 minutes played into the third term.
Mucking around with it, and Port Adelaide just doing a great job at sweating on the mistakes. Strong in that contest, wasn't he? Ratugolea stood up, 2 Fremantle players tackling him, and he dished the handball out nicely to Horne-Francis.
Port are just playing good pressure football. That's what they're applying to Fremantle, and Fremantle aren't stacking up to it at different stages of this game.
John texts in from Ravenswood in Tasmania. Great call, guys. I'm so happy my doggies got in, as you would be.
Yep.
Bulldogs by 37 points today over the Giants to lock themselves a spot in the final. The Freo fans realise their team needs a lift. They're rising. What can those in the purple on the field do? Reedy with the tap, and it's down to Drew. Tackled by Sarong. Ball jarred out. Sarong picked it up. Gave it to Young. Hand pass to the southern wing. It came to Sharp. He kicks into the left forward pocket. Sturt got bumped out of it. Coming up, Jackson marks. Luke Jackson in the left forward pocket can have a shot at goal from about, let's say, 40 outs. It's a tight angle, though. He'll start only a few metres in from the boundary.
Maybe Ali just hasn't quite got that spring in his step with that little ankle tweak early in that, or late in that first half. Just couldn't quite go with him in the air.
Luke Jackson without a goal so far today. They need him to take more marks and then convert. He's done the first part. Can he do the second? Jackson from 40 outs. Misses. Kicking to the left. 6-9-45 to Port's 9-5-59. So they're the reverse. The scores. 8 gone in the third. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Short kick in to Bergman. His release kick's an absolute shocker. It wobbles and bounces in front of Mead. Over the top to Johnson. Little handball to Amos. He's a long way from home. Dangerous kick. Back towards centre half forward. O'Driscoll trying to track it back. Didn't get the bounce. Burgoyne did. Gathered. Gone onto his skipper in Rosie. Now the kick out wide to Vicentini's a good one. The big 202-centimetre man kicks it up the wing, looking for Drew. Knocked away by Young. Gained possession. Now goes back up the wing to Sturt. Far side of the ground here at Perth Stadium. Has a runner coming past and Sharp. Gives off the handball. Now the kick goes back towards the Jackson direction. Can't mark in front. Voss couldn't either. Comes to Switkowski. Back to Voss. Snaps on goal. Running back is Zerk Thatcher. It doesn't matter. It goes through the skinny side for a minor score. Another miss for the Dockers. They are 6-10-46. Port Adelaide at 9-5-59.
Here comes Logan Evans. Stab past to Bergman in the right back pocket. Dockers kicking themselves out of this at the moment. They'll be kicking themselves again. They don't improve their accuracy. Bergman long towards the southern wing. 2-on-2 battle. Draper front position. He's been paid the mark. Had enough of it. Stands on the logo. Glances inboard. Moves it short to Wagner. Plays on. Off the step, kicks deep inside forward 50, but only Jones wanted it. He's up to mark for Port Adelaide between fullback and centre-half back. He'll spear the pass in the direction of Horn Francis, marking between centre-half back and right-half back for Port. Goes on a bit of a trundle. Fancy point of the centre square, kicks to a 2-on-2 at right half forward, and again Draper takes front position, and again marks for Fremantle.
Goes quickly as well, as the Dockers often do. Goes out to Sturt, took the mark, ran and took a bounce down the wing. Now handball inside to O'Driscoll, wanted to get it back to Sturt or Wagner, couldn't. It was chopped off by Port. Berg went onto the loose ball, gives it to Horn Francis, has players free. One of them is Sweet, the big ruckman, runs to 50, kicks towards goal. How does it bounce across the base? And it's a minor score. So Port Adelaide, the chance to burn them on transition, couldn't make the most of it this time. It was their chance to miss. 9-6-60 Port, 6-10-46 Fremantle.
14 points for the Dockers. They've got the ball in the right back pocket. Johnson kicks high up in the air towards centre wing. Flying to attack the football. Voss gave it everything, couldn't mark. Zirk Thatcher gathered, overrunning it with the hand pass. Came out to Drew. Switkowski, hand pass back into traffic. Wines, the former Brownlow medalist, over the top of the football. He's tackled the ground. Ball up the call. Voss gets up and he runs to head inside forward 50 for the Dockers. Sweet palmed it down. Slapped forward by Young. Straight though to Mead. His hand pass intercepted. Shoveled it forward. Only found Clark of the Dockers. Moves it on towards Fife, but then he gave it on towards Young, and he's been done. Great tackle coming the way of Drew. Wrapped him up on the logo. Commentary wing. He'll pop the ball inboard. Here's Jones again to Burn Jones. Kicks Port into the right forward pocket. Vicentini couldn't mark. Well done, Draper. Knocked it down. Gathered the football. The Dockers with a chance to be away through Fife.
Fife kicks towards centre half forward. Jackson going back. Can't take the mark. Surely infringed. Aaliyah crashed into him. The umpire did come across. There's a moment we didn't know the free kick would be paid. It is. Jackson has the ball. Aaliyah stands on the mark between the arc and the centre square. Jackson told to move it on. Has a runner coming past in Wagner. Normally a big kick of the ball. Kicks it towards the top of the square. No one there. But Brandon Zirk Thatcher, who took an uncontested chest mark, was able to quickly flick it by a boot out wide to Logan Evans, who kicks it out wide of the wing. Pack going back at the front was Vicentini. It's knocked away from him. Fife through traffic. Finds a little kick inside to Brayshaw. Wanted to feed the handball to the runner coming past. Realised it was Jackson. Chose not to. Now turns. Goes back to the top of the goal square. Big pack flies. Zirk Thatcher again. Punches it away. It comes down to Bergman. He was taken to ground. Lost the ball. Then Burn Jones spilt it. So too Sarong. Players like a bar of soap out there as the ball. Eventually Burn Jones gets it. His kick ricochets off an opponent's leg. Comes to Sturt. Handballs beyond attacking 50 to Young. Steadies from 55. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Jackson can't mark. Nor can Amos. There's a free kick and it's going the way of the Dockers. And it's going in the goal square. And it's going to Luke Jackson. Chaos.
Hard to watch, Shaz, isn't it? These inside 50s. There's no one hitting up at the kicker whatsoever.
He cannot miss this one. Luke Jackson, he doesn't. He gets his first. And the Dockers finally find a major. They get their seventh. Their first goal of the second half. 7-10-52 to Port Adelaide. 9-6-60. Margin back to 8 points. Jared Wellingham, Chris Waterman.
They're not going to win the game. Just tossing it up there and hoping we
dumping
it in. Luke's doing all right, but I'm not sure where this free front on
contact Thatcher.
That's a free kick all day. But
yeah.
Oh, there's just no one handballing to a runner whatsoever.
Is that method?
No. If they can just move the ball to a runner coming past them, even if it is Luke Jackson, the forwards will know what's going on. They'll hit up, lead, kick 5 or 6, win this game.
Then Fremantle fans find their voice. They need to win to play finals. Carlton need Port to win if they're to make it. The power are there anyway. Dockers get the clearance. Young sweeping the hand forward to Johnson. Stepped inside Horn Francis from the centre square. Johnson kicks for our inside forward 50. Fife comes out to meet it. Bergman in front. Good mark. He's got it for Port at full-back. Had an option on short Rosie. That's ignored. He'll put it into the left-back pocket, Logan Evans. He then sent it to Rosie. Bounced off the ground before he got there. Play on the call. Worked it to Logan Evans again and now to Bergman. Port come beyond their defensive 50 to Burn Jones. Marks it right half back. Sends the kick to Aliir. Stops and props. Still looks a little proppy. Coming off the ground with an ankle problem. He'll kick in the direction of Radaglia, who's up. Got hands to it, couldn't mark. Draper at the drop, shoveled it back. Wagner might have been held without it. Umpire says yes. He gets the free kick for the Dockers between left half back and centre wing. Southern side of the ground. Port Adelaide lead by 8 points. 16 gone in the third.
Wagner plays on. Kicks it up. Forward to the wing, looking for a target in Stern. Off hands out the back. Burn Jones tries to tap it to his own advantage. Eventually, Logan Evans came out and just threw the ball away in the tackle. Umpire said it was not free. Frederick gathers for Fremantle. His handball can't find a target. Umpire says he didn't find a fist with the ball either. Logan Evans wins the free kick. Has it right half back. Retreats inside defensive 50 to Aliir. No Fremantle player within about 30 metres of the former Swan. West Aussie product, so he tries to show a bit of a run and goes short to left half back and Lockie Jones. And short to Rosie. Slow play by the Power. The skipper has the ball and again retreats back into defensive 50 and Logan Evans now tries to hit a target. 5 foot, missed it in Bergman, was knocked away from him. Then came Voss, knocked away from the Dockers as well. Burn Jones coughed it up. It's just bobbling around. It's turnover footy. Voss is in there for Fremantle. Couldn't say clean possession. Bergman over the top. We'll have a ball up and we'll try and reset. That was a pretty uninspiring 60 seconds of football.
Earlier today, the Bulldogs by 37 over GWS. The Saints by 2 over Carlton. The Bulldogs are in. Carlton will have to wait and hope Port prevail here. You kick away out of the middle. Port will come to the centre of the ground. It's scooped up by the Dockers, though. Nicely done from Chapman. He spots Frederick. Markey on the logo. Commentary wing. It's urged to get it on by the crowd. He'll kick deep inside the forward 50 for Fremantle. Rising was Jones. Couldn't mark. Bergman gathers. Got a hand pass away to Horne-Francis under pressure. Switkowski applies it. Young picks it up, kicks it towards goal. It'll tumble through for a minor score, missing narrow to the right-hand side. 7-11-53 the Dockers, 9-6-60 Port, 18 gone in the third. Clint Wilden with you alongside Mitch Turner, our experts. Dual premiership player Chris Waterman, premiership player Sharad Wellingham, Akash Fodadars downstairs.
Logan Evans this time, tasked with the kick-in duties. Out to the wing, Radaglia in front, good mark. Takes it on the back edge of the centre square. Now kicks it up towards half forward. Drew v. Chapman, one-on-one. Drew had front position. Chapman won out. Then got tackled by Drew as he tried to run away. Umpire was satisfied. There wasn't a lot of prior, so we'll cross the arms and ball it up. It's 55 out from Port's goal. Left half forward. Over the top, Vincentini knocks it down to Rosie. Now off to Boak. Looking for a target inside the forward 50. Chapman flew the Dockers, couldn't mark. Oh, Georgiades overran it. Ryan took it away from him. Now over the top of the ball is Drew. Over the top of him is Luke Ryan, and we'll have another ball up, this time inside the attacking 50, left forward pocket. Coming down, Vincentini and Jackson. Jackson got to the front for the Dockers. Tapped it. It was stolen, though, by Butters. Off to Wines, and he can't bend it back around. The champ in game 250. It's a minor score. Should be 9-7-61 to 7-11-53. An 8-point lead restored for the Power. We'll have good memories here, Ollie Wines. He was presented his Brownlow medal at this ground back in, was it 2021?
Room about 250 metres to our right. Dangerous kick in. Cox had to do well on in front of Mead. Hand pass forward. Came to Chapman. Had to just work it into space. Frederick will come to it. Draws the opponent, releases with a clever hand pass Sarong, and then kicks it towards right half forward. Young marks for the Dockers. There's players across half forward. If Young can spot them, he doesn't. Instead, he'll put it into the right forward pocket. Jones got up, knocked it down. Boss gathered, was tackled by Burne-Jones. Holding the ball's the call. Locals won't like it, but it was there. Burne-Jones has got it deep at left full back. Port 9-7-61. The Dockers 7-11-53. Time on now in the third.
Burne-Jones with a clearing kick. Big fist came from Cox. Straight though to Boak. Off to his mate in Wines. Kick up the wings at Sumbler. In front is Sweet. Just palm the ball off to McIntyre. He spilts it. Now soccers it forward. Butters knocks it to his advantage by foot. He's 40 metres out. Trying to gather under pressure from Wagner. He couldn't. He was worried off it. Ball spills free. Rosie onto it. Handball inside. Looking for Boak. Knocked away by O'Meara. Is still inside. Port's attacking 50. Handball from Wagner. Put Clark under pressure. Ripped off it by Sweet. Port trying to find a free man. McKenzie was dispossessed. Rosie through traffic. Gets it to Mead. Off his step. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Over the back. No one can mark. Sturt gathers. Handball off to Sharp. There was a free kick in it all. The Dockers take the advantage. Sharp runs away from Burgoyne. Kicks down the wing looking for a target and Amos marks.
Amos pauses. Chance to set it deep inside forward 50. He wants Young. He's got 2 to beat. Ball goes to ground. Burton front position for Port. Won it well for the Power. Kicks into the left back pocket. Sweet gets there. He's got time to assess the options and finds one short in Radaglia. The cash voted are downstairs.
Corey Wagner's in a bit of trouble here. He grabbed straight for his right foot in that previous contest in the Port forward line. He's hobbling off the ground now.
Radaglia kicks over the top of where Wagner was and then comes towards Cox, who marks. Does well defensively for the Dockers. Back inside his back 50. Chapman flares it out to left half back. He's Sturt. Bright yellow boots on. They contrast against the dark purple socks. It comes to Brayshaw. Lovely kick up the corridor to Frederick. Plays on quickly. Inside forward 50. Good attack on the football, Burton. They wanted Reedy. Burton had the ability to come from behind to take the mark. And he's got it inside his back 50 and he'll flare it out towards the commentary wing where Burne-Jones marks. Still Port Adelaide had the advantage. They're up by 8 points, 22 and a bit gone in the third.
As it stands, Carlton will play finals football if it continues. Burne-Jones inside to Wines, has it on the wing. In content to chip it around at times, have Port Adelaide. As Wines now goes out to the former Hawk in Burton. Part of that Chad Wingard trade a number of years ago. It's paid off pretty well, you'd think, for Port Adelaide. He's played some good football. Has Ryan Burton. Goes up the wing this time. Was looking for Radaglia. Was punched away from him. It fell down to Wines. Steady, composed. Was able to find Butters. Tied against the boundary line on the wing. Has to wiggle around and end up retreating back to the wing in the logo to where Lockie Jones marks the ball. And now, once again, Port Adelaide will slowly set up. Jones to Bergman. Finally pulls the trigger. Sees something inside the forward 50. Burgoyne rises up, takes it on the chest, and it is a mark. For a second, I thought the umpire was going to reverse it, but he's just clearing out the players. He'll go back, set shot about 50 metres outside angle to the right.
Well, after all that, they get a kick from behind the centre line, deep into the forward 50, and a wingman marks it. Who would have thought?
The son of former Port Adelaide champion Peter Burgoyne was told by Ken Hinkley in the off-season he had to earn the number 7. Came back and did so. Has the shot on goal, and this time he can't make it count. It is a minor score to the left. 9-8-62, Port Adelaide 7-11-53. Fremantle margin out to 9 points.
Feel a Michael Walters moment coming in this last quarter. Need to get him
Free
out
kick
there.
Off the ball here. O'Driscoll has given Butters a shove. And so that's going to be top all the way to the top of the goal square. Where the ball was at the time. Again, little spot fires threatening to break out, but this is a big moment for Port, and to be fair for Carlton as well. An opportunity for McIntyre from right in front. He puts it through. Almost sends it into the second deck. Port Adelaide 10-8-68. The Dockers 7-11-53, 25 gone in the term. The third quarter, Port's lead out to 15 points.
Wowee.
Yep.
If you lose this game by under a goal, it's a long summer for Nathan O'Driscoll.
Well, what? I'm not actually sure.
I don't know what happened. It doesn't matter.
There was just some push and shove, and O'Driscoll has shoved Butters over.
Here we go.
See it there.
It was actually Reedy.
It was actually Reedy.
Oh, it's Reedy who's...
Because what? Sarong had tried to put a block on.
We'll take that back off Nathan.
Well, the old little brother trick, or big brother from Reedy.
The free kick, for what it's worth, has been pinged against O'Driscoll.
Okay.
It was definitely Reedy, though.
Costly free kick all the same.
It was the big brother treatment. He knocked him over, then ran away before Mum got there. Liam Reedy. Dockers win it out of the middle through Young and now Sarong. It comes to Reedy. He owes him a goal, does the big man. Delivers inside the forward 50. Aaliyah in front. Couldn't mark, but did well to get it away from Jackson. It spills to Switkowski. Gets it to Sturt on his left side. How he likes it. And he goals it. So the Dockers get one back. Liam Reedy paid his part. He owed them one. As Sam Sturt gets his first goal of the day. 8-11-59 Fremantle. 10-8-68 Port Adelaide, margin back to 9 points. Late stages of this third quarter here. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman are experts.
Well, Caleb Sarong's only at the 12, but he's had 5 this quarter. He's just got himself in the game a little bit. It was a good handball through the middle of the corridor. Again, the forwards didn't lead up.
None of them want to hit up.
None of them wanted to hit up. In fact, Aaliyah led up and forced Jackson to go with him. But it was just quick. Good set of clearance. Win the ball quick in there. Back to a 9-point game.
Tell you what, I do like the way Big Reedy moves.
Just his second game as well. A player picked up from Frankston. Gathered on the rookie draft. It's going to be Port that get the clearance away through Drew. Long kick inside forward 50. Chapman couldn't mark. Draper breaks the attempted tackle of Rosine. Got a hand pass away. Nicely worked to Walker, who'll kick towards the commentary wing. And then Jones up against O'Meara. Sees it over the boundary line for a throw-in, just shy of the interchange gates.
You mentioned Sam Switkowski, Sharad. 10 score involvements from his 14 touches. Almost every time he touches it, leads to a score.
By the way, Brayshaw leads all comers with 22. Wines has had it 21 times. A Sweet wins it down. Fife, hand passed up into the air, straight into traffic. It's not coming out of there. Free kick. Oh, Young was furious. Wines went to ground. O'Driscoll.
Out of area umpire.
Yeah, it wasn't the umpire close by. And Young's got up and given the out of area one an absolute spray. Fortunately, no dissent 50 metres on these occasions as Wines kicks inside forward 50. Power trying to gather, shrugging a tackle, trying to get it away was Francis Evans. Got it back towards Sweet, who's tackled. I didn't think there was much wrong with what we saw directly below us, but we haven't seen another angle. Closing in on three-quarter time. 1 quarter and about 20 seconds left of the home and away season as Sweet took clean possession, threw it on the boot, it tumbles towards the boundary line. Now, there was no one there. What will the umpires do?
I don't think they're allowed to do it in their forward line, are they?
Well,
they never do.
They never do, but you could. And I reckon the controlling umpire was thinking about it for a second. But it's going to be a throw-in instead, deep in the left forward pocket for Port.
Ball spun back in. Few seconds remaining. Can Port find another late goal in this third quarter? It bounces back to the player in Reedy, who gets tackled immediately. So have a ball up. Just a couple of seconds remaining.
We'll ask Demo gets on Monday. You won't because you're on holiday, show, but Muddy and I will.
Power by 9 points. Tap down straight to Sharp of the Dockers, who's tackled as the three-quarter time siren sounds. The boos ring out from the Dockers. Fans not too happy with the umpiring, but Port Adelaide have still got plenty to play for as well. 10-8-68. They lead the Dockers 8-11-59. As it stands, Fremantle will not play finals.
Carlton will, though, if Port Adelaide win. Port's goal kickers to three-quarter time. 2 to Georgiades, 2 to Horne-Francis. We've also got singles to Willie Rioli, to Francis Evans, to Willem Drew, to Darcy Byrne-Jones, to Dante Vicentini, and to Jed McEntee. While for Fremantle, their goal kickers, Sam Sturt, Nat Fyfe, Luke Jackson, Jai Amos, Nathan O'Driscoll, Michael Frederick, Patrick Voss and Sam Switkowski. Port have made their substitution. Francis Evans has come on. Kane O'Farrell off with a hamstring injury, which will have an enormous blow for Port Adelaide, especially on top of Dan Houston missing for the rest of the season. The Dockers are yet to make their sub in Michael Walters. In the other games, St Kilda by 2 points over Carlton. Jack Higgins with a goal 12 seconds from time, which means the Blues need Port Adelaide to win here over Fremantle for them to play in the finals. And the Western Bulldogs locked in a spot up against GWS with a 37-point win over the Giants in Ballarat. The Giants were already securing September football. But with a quarter to come in the home and away season and still a spot up for grabs if the Dockers can beat Port Adelaide. It is, though, the visitors who lead by 9 points. 10-8-68 to Fremantle's 8-11-59. Wherever you're listening around the nation, be it on ABC Radio, Sport Digital or streaming on the ABC Listen app, this is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Time for the family road trip.
98.
The big prawn.
Yes. 99.
The big mosquito.
It's a real one. And 100.
Easy.
The big Listen app.
Of course.
The ABC Listen app has a big array of road trip ready podcasts, radio, audiobooks, music and sport. Something for everyone.
I guess it has to be big to fit in all those podcasts.
For a big selection of audio entertainment,
Really, Dad?
listen big. Download the free ABC Listen app today.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Now the kick inside the forward 50. Too low for Georgiades. Pops over to Butters, though. Sees something he likes at the top of the 50. It's Bogue. Can't mark. Able to gather, though. Kicks inside. And a nice little chip over the top. He's able to find a teammate. 25 metres out from goal. Slight angle. And is the sub in Francis Evans. Onto the ground looking for an immediate impact. 14th game for the season for the former Cat. They picked him up as a delisted free agent. Did Port Adelaide. Francis Evans repays the faith and puts it through. Logan Evans kicked to the top of the goal square. Radically is there. So too Horn-Francis. Radically gets it to the rising star. And Horn-Francis puts it through for number 2. Port Adelaide out to a 15-point lead. Comes to Sturt. Handballs beyond attacking, 50 to Young. Steadies from 55. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Jackson can't mark. Nor can Amos. There's a free kick and it's going the way of the Dockers. And it's going in the goal square. And it's going to Luke Jackson. He cannot miss this one. Luke Jackson, he doesn't. He gets his first. And the Dockers finally find a major. They get their 7th, delivers inside the forward 50. Aaliyah in front, couldn't mark, but did well to get it away from Jackson. It spills to Switkowski, gets it to Sturt on his left side, how he likes it, and he goals it. So the Dockers get one back.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It's a tight game, Port by 9 points, which should give extra concern for Dockers supporters. They don't tend to win the close ones. This season they've won 1, lost 6, drawn 1 in games decided by 13 points or less. Will it be the Power or the Dockers who prevail with a quarter to come? Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Chris Waterman and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, we were just discussing best players on the ground and best players for teams. It's actually hard to pick, which tells us the game is just a real arm wrestle, which it was that quarter.
Yep.
No flow. We're going nuts up here looking at the 304s on why aren't you hitting up? I mean, Jai Amos, Paddy Voss and
it's super frustrating, isn't it? Because you can see pockets and lanes of space for them, but they're just refusing to use it.
But you can pick up quick habits in a game of footy. It's because they knew that there was no run on, no handball flow on from behind early in the game that they're probably thinking, why are we leading up? Because there's no flow with the football. They're just dumping it into Luke Jackson. So they created a couple of little bad habits for themselves. If they, again, we'll just say, if they can get the ball moving and hit forwards up. But I called it at half time, and it hasn't happened yet, but I saw Sunshine Rollers warming up. He has to get into this game and do something, because it hasn't been clean.
Even if he gets the ball in that 60 to 70 out, he'll make something happen.
4 or 5 touches is all he needs. He can do something on the scoreboard.
Does it look like he's making his way out there?
It's game on. It's up for grabs.
Oh, it's game on. He's heading out there, so he's starting the quarter out there, which is good. We don't know who's come off, though.
We'll get a Cash to tell us right now. Cash Fodena downstairs.
Yeah, Sonny Walters is coming in for Matt Johnson. It's a tactical decision.
Johnson out of the game.
Wow.
Michael Walters in. We already know that Power have made their sub. Kane Farrell a hamstring, of course, into the game. Francis Evans. Leading disposal getters for both sides. Ollie Wines has 22 for the Power. Logan Evans and Butters with 20 for the Dockers. Brayshaw has 22. Luke Ryan, Heath Chapman and Jeremy Sharp with 18.
In round 16, Carlton was second, Fremantle were third. In a quarter's time, one of those sides will miss finals. The Dockers have it in their hands. The Blues are cheering on Port Adelaide. Port leads 10-8, 68 to 11, 8-11, 59, and we're underway in the final quarter of the home and away season. The Power with the clearance through Wines. Bounced it out towards O'Meara, couldn't gather. Chance though for Rosie, handed it on to Sweet for the Power, worked it forward to Mead, towards centre half forward, good tackle. Locking up, Clark made sure there was no chance for Francis Evans to get rid of it. Ball up the call. Jackson couldn't get to it, spilled out the direction of Switkowski, who I think's underneath 2 or 3. It is. Burn-Jones was one, Sweet the other. Still across half forward for Port Adelaide. Sweet palms it down straight to Switkowski, immediately tackled to ground by Burn-Jones on the attacking edge of the centre square for Port. They sit comfortably at the moment in second. Umpires spotted a free kick. It's going the way of Port Adelaide. Sweet taken high around the shoulder. Again, the locals are restless. They're unhappy with a few controversial decisions that have happened today. Sweet with a bit of push and shove, or just waiting for a bit of push and shove behind him between Burton and Frederick to finish. Now Sweet will kick into the right forward pocket. No mark taken, spilled down. Francis Evans going through, tackled immediately, ball up again. This time deep in the right forward pocket for Port. They're kicking to the right of our broadcast position, the city end of Perth Stadium in this final term. Ball thrown up into the air. Sweet with a tap, down towards O'Meara, tackled immediately by Radigalia. Desperate stuff, particularly for Fremantle. They're staring at missing out on finals in 2024. Sweet winning it down. Horn Francis tackled, lost possession of the footy, surely holding the ball it is. The Dockers will get the free kick deep in the left back pocket. Port lead 10-8 to Freo's 8-11, 2 minutes gone in the final quarter.
Still lead by 9 points. Port Adelaide, it's like two prize boxers just sizing each other up here. Who will throw the first punch of the final term? Zerk Thatcher's over the top of the ball between wing and half forward. Wines just extracted it, gave it straight to Brayshaw though. Now to Amos, backward of the wing. Long way from home, gave it to O'Meara. A little handball to Brayshaw, got it back. The former rising star kicks into the middle of the ground. Walker takes the mark, plays on, kicks to the lead of Sturt. Can't mark, knocked away by Bergman. Walker followed it up, did well, laid the tackle coming through. Burgoyne was dispossessed. Then Young tried to break a tackle. He took one on and he got lucky. The second tackle coming in, Burton got him high because Rioli had him cold. And Hayden Young has the free kick. Just outside the attacking 50, Rioli stands at 52. He tries to dart a pass off a step, and it's a shocker. Laces out Burgoyne like he was looking for him. It's a wasted opportunity, and Port Adelaide win it back.
Still the Power by 9 points. Early stages, final term. Kick to the outer side. Radagler couldn't mark it. Spilled out the back. It's been locked in. Ball up again. Vincentini in his second game has been impressive. Up against Walker on that occasion. Sweet does the ruck work, wins it down. Burgoyne tries to get there. Slapped it back, but Switkowski was able to gather. Kicked around the body. Awkward bounce then for Voss. O'Leary at the back gathered. Had it for Port, gave it to Burton. Hard up against the boundary line, left half back. Kicks the Power to the outer side. Radagler can't mark. He knocked it to ground. He might have been tackled here. He was. He gathered it, tried to take on Ryan. Ryan tackled him, gets the free kick, holding the ball against Port. Luke Ryan with it on true centre wing, southern side of the ground. Port still by 9 points, 4 gone in the last.
Ryan kicks towards half forward, packs there, Voss at the front, couldn't mark, knocked away from him by Vicentini. Ball goes out of bounds, will be spun back in. Sweet, knocked it away, and he'll do the ruck work. Heavily strapped right arm from shoulder to wrist. Stands in front of Luke Jackson. Now the two grapple. Sweet was able to get to the fall of the ball. Was dispossessed by Brayshaw, who took the ruckman high, if you can believe it. He jumped up to make the tackle, got him above the shoulder. So Sweet does have the free kick. Kicks up towards Radicalier again. Just read the drop of the ball well. Took the mark. Rises from his hands and knees, standing in the middle of the ground. He's kind of looking around a bit puzzled. He wants an option to come past. No one came, so now he kicks it inside the forward 50. Horn Francis flew in front, couldn't mark. Wagner was taken high and without the ball, and he wins the free kick for the ladder. So the Dockers have it back as Wagner kicks into the middle of the ground, and Cox
by hand to Switkowski. Hand pass over the top to Brayshaw. Just gets rid of it before he's tackled. Sends it deep into the left forward pocket. They're in hot pursuit. It's over the boundary line for what is going to be a throw-in. Deep at left full forward.
Oh, this has been happening all night. The Fremantle forwards are going way too high. They need to spread out and keep them down there. They just got nothing coming at the ball when they get the quick transition back.
Port still by 9 points. 5.5 gone in the last. Right now, Carlton is in the finals. The Dockers are not. Thrown in again. Jackson palmed it down. It came to Wines, though. Hurried kick away by Mead. Beyond defensive, 50 towards right half back. Taken by Wagner and then tackled over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. Good effort coming in then from Francis Evans, the substitute who is on for Port Adelaide. Michael Walters. He's also there.
Has a goal too. Francis Evans, the sub, has had an impact. Ball comes off the stoppage. Comes out Port Adelaide's way. Mead kicks it up the boundary line, and too wide off the boot. Goes out of bounds on the full. In front of the Fremantle VIP members down there. Brennan Cox has the ball in his hands. The announcement goes up on the big screen. 45,322 here at Perth Stadium today. O'Driscoll has ball in hand. Plays on, kicks up towards Jackson and Alier. And Alier just disposed of the former Demon. And he paid the price. It's a free kick to Luke Jackson. He's a kick and a half from home. Kicks it to the hot spot, looking for a flying target. Voss from the side. Floated in. No one went with him from Port Adelaide, and he ended up taking a fairly easy mark in front of no one in the end.
Well, not one big man's dominated this game at all, or made his presence felt. This will be for 2 goals, the first multiple goal scorer for Fremantle.
As Chris Waterman says, Patrick Voss already has 1 goal, should kick this one. He makes the goal umpire work, but he makes the fans cheer. He sneaks it in the right upright, and he's got 2 goals, and the margin is back to 3 points. 9-11-65 Fremantle. Port Adelaide out in front. 10-8-68. Finals on the line for the Dockers. As the Carlton fans watch and listen on from across the country. Sharon Wellingham, Chris Waterman here on ABC Sport.
It was a bit of a mismatch, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got himself matched up with Jay Sweet and just wasn't able to stay with him as he approached the contest. Probably didn't think he was going to launch at it, but the big ruckman.
Still no leading up though.
None. Just there was one. Sturt.
Yeah, that's
Sturt
early
was
on.
the only one.
Thought he probably got an arm chop too in there, but game on.
Hear the roar. We'll head downstairs in a moment to a cash voted up. Bounce restart. Reedy up against Vicentini. Neither got a telling tap. Umpire says I'm going to ball it up. He was unhappy with how it went beyond the centre circle on the outer side. Vicentini won it down. It came to Brayshaw. Couldn't get a kick away. Was tackled. Had a second go at it. Burne-Jones gathered. Hand pass to Horn Francis. He breaks one. He breaks 2. Great don't argue against Walters. And then he stopped and slipped over. Has the backtrack. Has he run too far? He has. No, I thought the umpire was about to call it. He put his hand to his mouth, the umpire, number 9, to call it, and then let him play on and get a kick away to Burgoyne on the outer side. Well, there you go. Kick towards left half forward. No mark taken. Spilled down to Rioli. He couldn't gather. Reedy has it, and he's tackled. A cash photo downstairs.
Hayden Young's had a lot of work done on his right leg. He's doing some run-throughs now with the doctor, not looking all too flash.
Came down for the Dockers in the restart from Fife to Sharp to Brayshaw. Hand pass releases Walker. He burns one off and then takes a bounce. And he kicks to Switkowski. Sweeping hand pass back. Walker gathers, moves it on to Walters. In space at right half forward. Spears it into the direction of Jackson. Couldn't mark. Great spoil came from the side from Port Adelaide. Jackson affected the tackle immediately, but well done. Logan Evans getting a hand in there. There's a ball up the top of the 50 arc.
It's Vicentini v Reedy. Reedy, good sap over the top. Sarong spilt it. Was able to gather it in the end. Got it to Sharp outside 50. Now back to Wagner. High ball to the top of the square. And Lear, big fist. Out into space. Who gets there first? The foot race is on. O'Driscoll was able to push Mackenzie off it. They both go back in right on the 50. They're locked up. It'll be a ball up. Looking down at Hayden Young, he does look proppy running up and down the sidelines.
I think it may have been a cork in a contest about 5 or so minutes ago.
It's a big blow as Wines extracts it from the contest, gives it to Boak. High kick up the wing. Ball knocks on its end, just went straight through the legs of Rosie. O'Driscoll on hands and knees, able to get it to 5, had a little fumble, eventually handball to Wagner, tried to break through the tackle. Got a handball inside 50. Switkowski to Sarong, to the superstar. He misses. He would have put Fremantle in front and he couldn't deliver. They've missed another. They are 9-12-66. Put Adelaide at 10-8, 68. It's a 2-point margin. Plenty of time left here in the final game of the home and away season.
The crowd was enormous. We'll try and let you have some idea of the atmosphere when we can. Port move it to right half back and Sweet marks. Sweet for Port, who lead by 2. Switching play towards left half back and then slipping over. Didn't quite like that Zerk Thatcher, but he's okay. 26 years old today. Sends it towards left half forward. Georgiades got in front of Ryan. He takes the mark for the power. Standing in the centre square. It's told to move it on. Georgiades for Port towards full forward. They come from everywhere. Comes out the side. Francis Evans gathered, tackled immediately. Well done to Clark. He wrapped him up just as he was about to get away at right full forward. Ball up the call. Port lead by 2 points. It's those 2 points that currently have Carlton in the finals. Tap is down for Port. Grabbing it, snapping it, missing to the left-hand side is Burgoyne. Port's lead is 3 points. 12.5 gone in the final term. By the way, that crowd, 45,322. The biggest ever between these two teams.
They're in store for a blockbuster finish too as Wagner for the Dockers goes out to the wing and Jackson. Got away from Alir, took the mark. Has Frederick over the top, closing his Burn Jones in fringe, front on contact. Now he runs, he almost kicked the ball. You couldn't have paid 50 because Frederick was chasing him down and it's his ball. That's how loud it is. They could not hear the whistle. Frederick has the free kick, goes inboard to Brayshaw, turns, plays on, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Zerk Thatcher again. He's been good today, Brandon Zerk Thatcher. He takes another intercept mark. It wasn't a great kick by Brayshaw off the instep. Port Adelaide are able to win possession back. Nothing obvious on for Zerk Thatcher, so he goes down the wing. Cox pushes. Sweet out of the way. It was obvious. 2 hands in the back. The ruckman has the ball, kicks up the wing. Draper reads it best for Fremantle. Couldn't take the mark. Boak coughed it back to the young Docker. Now Butters came through, knocked it to his advantage. Handball out in front of Francis Evans. Just tried to knock it to a teammate. Stolen by Sarong. And his handball misses Wagner inside defensive 50 and goes out of bounds for a boundary throw into Cash Fodor downstairs.
Just a confirmation that it's the right calf that's the issue for Hayden Young, and they do believe it was from a corky, but he might be coming back on soon.
All spun back into play. Right forward pocket here for Port. One down by Dante. The young man's been very good. Vicentini. Fife couldn't gather, emerging with it. Horn Francis now to Butters at right half forward. Kicks towards full forward. Rioli! Diving forward, takes the mark for Port. To send it back to what will be a 9-point game if he kicks truly. He has one tonight and 27 for the season. The former Eagle, a premiership player with West Coast. Willie Rioli comes in and puts it through. He roars as his teammates go to celebrate with him. Port Adelaide with a second to Rioli, moved to be 11-9-75 to the Dockers 9-12-66. 15 gone in the final term. Carlton fans, they won't be breathing easier, but they can maybe just for the moment stop biting the nails.
It was such a dangerous kick by Butters, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, Nathan O'Driscoll he lost his man, didn't go. It was Horn Francis got a slick handball out of that clearance.
And yeah, it was just over the back. Well, I don't think it was, definitely wasn't intended for him, but I don't think he even thought it was coming to him and just managed to get over the back of probably where the contest was likely to occur. And looked like one of the old Fido marks.
Ball's back in the middle. Sarong onto the loose ball, tackled immediately. The last time these two teams played in round 5 was a 3-point win to Port Adelaide. Dockers led for most of that match. The Power have led for most of today. As the ball in congestion comes to O'Driscoll in the middle of the ground. Got it to Fife. Back to O'Driscoll. Now through hands to Brayshaw. They find Sarong. Left foot kick out towards the lead of Voss. Was able to take it on the bounce. Turned between two. Had Brayshaw on short. Decided to ignore him. Went to Bergman instead. Punched away from him by Young. Clearing kick. Can't get outside defensive 50. O'Driscoll v. Burgoyne coming through. Walters was tackled. Dispossessed. Sweet gathers the ruckman and he's taken to ground immediately at right half forward for Fremantle. Hayden Young with that injury standing at the top of the goal square. Ball tossed up. Sweet and Reedy. Sweet knocks it down. Coming through. Mead went without it. Then O'Driscoll was able to get it to Brayshaw. Kick back inside 50 for the Dockers. Can anyone take a mark for Fremantle? No. It spills to the ground. Logan Evans dropped it. Young, handball out. Sturt on his left. Tried to go through traffic. Somehow got a handball out to O'Meara on hands and knees. Fife, he bobbles it. Switkowski had it knocked away from him by Burne-Jones. Sarong snap around the body. Amos one-on-one with Zirk Thatcher. And again, the Port Adelaide defender wins out and knocks it out of bounds for a boundary throw in. The Power still lead by 9 points. 17 played in the last.
Port fans, the small group of them, they're trying to urge their team on as well here at Perth Stadium. And the throw-in, one down by Sweet, came to Burne-Jones, kick hit traffic. O'Meara, back again to Switkowski, then on in turn to Walters, who ran it along the ground and couldn't find the major opening. He misses right. Normally so good in those circumstances, Michael Walters, the goal sneak. It's a minor score. 9-13-67 the Dockers, 11-9-75 Port. 18 minutes gone in the final term. It's Port by 8.
Logan Evans in the bright yellow boots, kicks up the wing. Draper, when he was pushed out of it, no decision paid. It's falls to Sweet, who's wrapped up off hands by Reedy. Ball up right on the AFL logo. Centre wing, broadcast side of the ground. Tapped out in the space of Butters. Did well to get a kick forward. Landed in the arms of Clark for Fremantle. Umpire said not 15. He retreated to Draper, who just coughed it straight back to Butters. Now to the veteran in both. Kicks, looking for a target inside the forward 50. Cox couldn't mark. Radaglia took it on the second attempt. He's tackled straight away. Umpire crosses the arms, ball up. It's about 45 out from Port Adelaide's goal. With two rucks, Jackson and Sweet. Sweet in front, just knocks it out into the pocket in space. Clark, the first one there for the Dockers. Happy to concede another stoppage, just runs out of bounds. A catch spotted downstairs.
Yeah, Hayden Young is not fully fit. He can barely get above a walk. The physio's just run out to him now to talk to him again, but he's really struggling to move.
They've just got to use him as a quick rotator. In, out, in, out. Fredericks should be on the ground right now.
He's desperate to get on too, Frederick. Having a look at him at the top of the interchange gates as Jackson wins it down. Came to Sarong. Bumps the kick long. Will land just inside the centre square. No mark taken. Brayshaw met by Boak. Bounced off him. Hand pass to O'Meara. Dockers are away. Sturt fumbles it once. Tapped it away from Jones. Gathers. Hand pass over the top. Miss Switkowski. Wines was more interested in him. Boak picks it up for Port. Gave it to Wines. Sliding onto his knees. Butters marks on centre wing. Kick inboard. Marked by Lockie Jones on the logo. He's got three players inboard again. It goes to Drew. Drew steps off his line. He doesn't know about it. Brayshaw gets him holding the ball. Brayshaw by hand, quickly onto Sharp. Oh, Fife couldn't gather it cleanly. Spilt it. Came to Wagner. Kicks inside forward 50. Voss gathers. Slips over. Hand passes to Walters. Dropped the football. Bergman got him. Somehow worked it on again to Switkowski. Threw it on the boot. It bounces just inside the boundary at right full forward. Aliir puts his head over it. Gathers. Tackled by Sharp. Umpire says play on. Ball out the side. Burgoyne clears. Only as far as Voss. He gathers. He's tackled. It's frantic. Picking up Rosie. Tries to work it towards left half back. Radaglia right up against the boundary line. It's over for a throw-in. It's heart-stopping stuff at Perth Stadium. Port Adelaide still lead. Only just, though. They're up 11-9-75 to 9-13-67. In front by 8 points, 21 gone in the last.
Ball spun back in. Sweet gets it down. Mead for the power. Kicks it out and out of bounds on the full. The Dockers will win it back. Just backward of centre wing. Short kick from Chapman finds Sharp. Port Adelaide starting to get numbers slowly behind the ball. Sharp runs off his line, kicks a high ball towards half forward. Players gather under it, knocked away by Logan Evans. Straight to Walters. Switkowski to Fife, had it knocked away from him. Burton in there for Port Adelaide. He's tackled by O'Driscoll. Ball up at half forward.
These dump kicks are just doing my head in from Fremantle.
You've just got a crumb in front. That's where the ball's going every time.
Jackson and Sweet again. Sweet knocks it down. Sarong and Jackson bumped into each other. Rosie got a clearing kick up to the wing. Radaglia was in front. It fell down to Wagner. He was tackled immediately by three Port Adelaide players who just jumped on him. It's a ball up, middle of the ground. Almost as neutral as it gets. Jackson v Sweet. Sweet just punches it towards half forward. It goes through a number of players. Rioli trying to tap it to a teammate. Couldn't. Walker's in there for the Dockers. So too Radaglia. We'll have a ball up right on the paint. Centre half forward. 50 metres out from the Port goal. They lead by 8 points.
Throwing up. Jackson at the back. Won it down. Oh, beautifully gathered though, Horne-Francis. Hand passes to Boak. The ever-experienced Travis Boak kicks around the body towards full forward. Georgiani's had one hand and it dropped it. Rioli! There to run it through for Port Adelaide. Willie Rioli gets another. He's got 3. Port's leaders out past 2 goals. Port by 14 points. 12-9-81 to Fremantle 9-13-67. 23 minutes gone in the last. And the Dockers are running out of time.
Well, we just said crumb in front. And he's got the last 2 goals as small forward. I can tell you, Lygon Street just went off.
Yeah.
They are nearly home and hosed there. Port and Fremantle are going to shoot themselves in the foot again.
Gee, they had some chances down in that forward half. About 5 or 6 players could have pulled the trigger and none of them could gather it
get
cleanly.
Clean possession.
They all fumbled. The ball's back in the middle. There's still time left for the Dockers, but they trail by 14 as the bounce is restarted. Players resume position again, back to the 6-6-6 formation.
6-6-6, but Draper and Boak on the northern wing are on the offensive side for Fremantle.
Reedy B, sweet. Ball goes up in the middle, knocked down towards Wines, the champion in game 250. Got it back to his ruck. He spilled it. Rosie just sockers it inside the forward 50. Walker gets back there for Fremantle. He gets pushed off the ball. Rioli's tackled. He drops it. Umpire says play on. Chapman dispossessed. Brayshaw coming through. Chapman on hands and knees for Fremantle. Flicks the handball out to Sarong. Was able to gather. Deep in defence. Got it to Cox. Stepped around a couple. Dangerous kick in the middle of the defensive 50. Switkowski had to stand underneath it. He was crunched. And the ball spills to players. Will be balled up. 45 metres out directly in front of Port Adelaide's goal. 25 played.
Reedy with a tap down to Switkowski. Hands it off to Clark. The Dockers running out of time. Have to get something here. Ball ends in the middle of the ground. Alir scooped it up. Knocked it only as far as Sarong couldn't gather. Came back to Alir for Port. Handed it off to Boak, then to Drew. Got knocked over by Voss. That was ugly and unnecessary. It'll be a downfield free kick. Burgoyne will have it. Moves it back inboard to Bergman. 25 and a half minutes gone. It's still a 14-point advantage to Port Adelaide. Port win, Carlton play finals. Bergman thumps it long, inside forward 50. One more goal will do it for Port Adelaide and, for that matter, the Blues. Tapped down by Sweet. Ball hits the deck. Players on top. I think it's going to be a holding the ball call. It is. It's going against Georgiades. Ryan will have it. He'll take it for the Dockers. Still perhaps time. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Punched forward by Sweet. Straight into traffic. Wines worked it away. It came to Drew. Sent it back from whence it came. And Ryan marks again. Still in the right back pocket for Port.
Ryan, dangerous kick up the middle of the ground. Rosie did well. Got in front. Chopped it off. That's why he wears the number 1. Got it to Burton. And out to the man who used to wear that number, Travis Boak. 36 years of age. Game 368. Just keeps on keeping on Travis Boak. Disposal 18. Goes to the top of the square. Players fly off hands. Evans at the fall of the ball. Tackled by Walker. It'll be a ball up. Just beyond the attacking goal square for Port Adelaide. Reedy and Sweet. 24v42. Ball goes up. No one can get a tap to it. Rioli tries to go off the ground. Can't. Cox ends up with it for Fremantle. And he's held at the top of the goal square. So now a ball up. 10 metres out. Directly in front for Port. Can they put this game to bed? Sweet. Couldn't win the tap. Reedy could. Came to Clark for the Dockers. Snap around the corner. Boak has front position. Still inside attacking 50. Ball was knocked towards its teammate in Butters. He was crunched. And then Walters lays a strong tackle on Francis Evans, and it'll be a ball up inside attacking 50. Another stoppage for the Power as the seconds tick down on Freo's season.
Throwing up again. Sweet got a touch. It came down sharp. Then to Cox. Kick towards the outer side. Burton couldn't get there. Emerging with it. Clark is into space. Thumps it long, but to no one in particular. Alir will get there first. He's able to gather and kick around the body. Burton wanted it. One down again by the Dockers through Clark. Frederick couldn't do much with it. It's there to be won. Port pick it up. Bergman on the outer side to Wines. Wines goes in the direction of Georgiades. He's infringed. Luke Ryan giving away the free kick. Port will have it on the outer side of the ground. And they're just about to celebrate, not only in Port Adelaide, but also in Carlton. 28 minutes gone. Port by 14.
Georgiades kicks inside the forward 50. And Sweet rises up and takes the mark. And he'll go back with a chance to put the icing on the cake. What song will play on the final siren? Will it be the Power to win, or will it be da-da-da-da-da?
It'll be Power here. I think the other side of the country
As Chris Waterman said, Lygon Street, full bookings tonight. Jordan Sweet.
Well, the rest of the 8 wouldn't be happy with Carlton's incoming. Kerno, Mackay and the like. It's breathed life back into this big final series.
The kick on goal is oh so sweet. The ruckman delivers, and he puts the nail in the coffin on Fremantle's season. Port Adelaide 13-9-87. The Dockers 9-13-67 with not long left in the fourth term.
Scoreboard tells the story, Shaz. Poor kicking is poor football, and they got it wrong in the first half, Freo.
Yep.
Missed 9 shots on goal, 8 points and 1 out in the full. Could have been 5 goals in front and had them sewn up. But Port have been dogged, and they are a very well-weathered team. They play good finals brand tonight, good one-on-one footy, and they're going to go home in the top spot with a home final in 2 weeks. Sorry, second spot. I'll take top, the top 2.
Locked in second.
Same result, home qualifying final, first or second. Port have locked it in. Ball's been locked in again in the centre circles from the restart. Sweet won it down. Butters couldn't get it away. Sweet palms it down once more against Reedy. Trying to emerge with it. Drew got a hand pass out to no one in particular. Bounces the way, though, of Drew once more. Got bumps as he got a kick away. Spills here for Sarong. The hand pass forward. Walters couldn't get there. Port Adelaide prevail. And this evening at least, teal looks like navy blue. The power hand Carlton a second chance card. The Blues will play finals. Port Adelaide finish in second spot. Fremantle's season is over. Port win by 20 points over the Dockers.
Power from Port, it's more than a sport. It's a true Port Adelaide tradition. We'll never stop till we're top. There's history here in the making. We've got the power to win. We'll never give in till the flag is ours for the taking. Power! With our tradition so strong, we can't go wrong. We're the Alberton Brown, Port Adelaide proud. And the heroes are those who earn the right to wear the silver, teal, and black and white. And the Port supporters standing tall, true believers, one and all. We got the power to win, power to rule. Come on, Port Adelaide aggression. We are the power from Port. It's more than a sport. It's the true Port Adelaide tradition. We'll never stop till we're top. There's history here in the making. We got the power to win. We'll never give in till the flag is ours for the taking.
Port Adelaide 13-9-87 to Fremantle 9-13-67. They had their final chances in their own hands, the Dockers, and could not get the job done against Port Adelaide. Port will host Geelong in a qualifying final. Carlton will head up to Brisbane and the Gabba in an elimination final. Two of the form teams will go head-to-head, the Bulldogs and the Hawks, in an elimination final. And it's once again the old battle of the bridge, the Sydney Derby. Sydney versus GWS in the other qualifying final. That's how week 1 of the finals will play out in a fortnight's time. Fremantle, it's another off-season of wondering what might have been. They were good enough, but they weren't good enough often enough. And they bow out of season 2024 with today's loss to Port Adelaide. Ollie Wines was outstanding with 31 disposals for Port. Butters with 27. And Logan Evans had it 23 times as well. Brayshaw with 32 touches for the Dockers. The goal kickers, Willie Rioli. Fascinating. The former Eagle came across and he was really, his goals, a bit of the difference between these sides. 3 goals to him, 2 to Horn Francis, 2 to Georgiades. Singles to Sweet, to Drew, to Francis Evans, to Burn Jones, to Vicentini. On just his 3rd game of the year, he kicks his first league goal, and Jed McEntee with a goal as well. While for the Fremantle Dockers, 2 to Patrick Voss and singles to Sturt, Fife, Jackson, Amos, O'Driscoll, Frederick and Switkowski. We got the live game we wanted, but for the most of the 45,322 that were in, the 2,000 or so Port Adelaide fans, they didn't get the result they were chasing. Port Adelaide victorious, the Blues to play finals despite their 2-point loss to the Saints earlier today. Give us your thoughts. Chris Waterman, Sharad Willingham here on ABC Sport.
Well, missed opportunity by Freo, isn't it? They're done. Season done after such a promising year where they were in the 8 for a fair chunk of it. So were Carlton. They ended up back in. So were Essendon. But missed opportunity. They were outplayed in a real final intensity that Port threw at them today. Although, as we've said all afternoon, Freo have left 5 goals out there in the first half. Easily.
Squandered opportunities, wasn't it? And it's kind of the story of the year. You look at
they've left 4 or 5.
Yeah, they probably got four losses that should have got, when I say should have, they put themselves in positions where they could have won them. They didn't win them. And then I have to wait till the last game of the year to find out if they can play finals. Everyone else did what they needed to for them and still weren't able to get across the line. But yeah, wasted opportunities. Just too not predictable, but just a bit too boring with their method going inside 50 and
no flair.
Yeah,
not brave enough.
Didn't put enough pace on the ball at all, did they? When they got forward to centre.
Forwards didn't lead up. I just don't know. I mean, it was interesting when Sunshine got that ball in the last quarter. 2 forwards led at him because they knew what he was going to do, but obviously not confident their mids playing on and getting the ball in quick. Jai only led once and he got a goal from it.
Yeah.
Alan Gummin didn't lead again all night. There's obviously a lack of connection, lack of confidence with their mids. There's so much more in this Fremantle team.
Yeah,
so much
and they're
more
young.
to give.
They are young.
Yeah.
They're a young side.
Well, Port have been in the finals 3 or 4 years, 5 years now, and gone deep.
Yeah.
Haven't made the GF yet, but, Willie's been there on grand final day and got a medal. So their big boys really gave moments that won the game. With Willie's 2 goals in the last quarter, he hadn't done much all day.
Stood up when they needed him.
You don't sit him on the bench because he's not going to kick you one there, and then he kicks 2 in the last quarter. So your good players give you moments, and that's what they got. And Ollie Wines was outstanding all night. Horn Francis, I thought in the first half really kept him in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Willem Drew only had 12 possessions, but he's done a job on Sarong.
Let's head down into the Port Adelaide rooms. Akash Fodadar is down there as they start to line up for the club song, having locked in second spot and a home qualifying final. Akash.
Thanks, Clint. Yeah, they're just about ready to go for the song as well. And as you can imagine, it's a very, very happy change room down here. We're just waiting. A couple of stragglers. Willie Rioli, the last one in. But here we go. And we should have a power play with us very shortly as they all jumped all over Ollie Wines, who had a terrific 250th game.
He certainly did. That sounded like a team that knew that they were already playing.
I was about to say, they didn't have much gusto in that. It felt like a workmanlike performance. Yep, we're in the finals. We're ready to go. Good on them.
Yeah.
The second spot. As I
Come
said
over here.
early in the day, How about that throw Kenny Hickley on the first plane out of Adelaide 8 or 9 weeks ago?
Was it this year he was copping it?
Oh, he was gone.
But from the fans and things like that.
Yeah,
that was
9 weeks ago.
He was getting interviewed by Sarah Jones after a game. Was just about in tears. He was that emotional, and they won the game for him. After 2 or 3 weeks where the whole of Adelaide wanted him thrown out of the state. And here he is, knocking on the door of a big finals campaign. Good on him.
So what cost does this game have, though, with Leah and Farrell going down with no Houston?
Before we go on to that, I was about to just finish that discussion point. I was in Adelaide for the round 12 game when they got beaten, of all teams, by Carlton by 36 points. And the reaction from the Port Adelaide fans at that stage was very much thanks very much, Ken. That will do.
Wow.
And now, second spot into what is a 7th finals appearance in 12 seasons in charge, and you're hosting a home qualifying final.
He could be, in 5 weeks, getting an extension, quite possibly. Or someone else comes knocking on the door and he turns around and says, see you later, I'm going, I've got a 4-year over here.
Over here?
Well, over here. Could be over here. You don't know.
If you're Don Pike, you'd be asking the question.
Yeah.
Kenny, they wanted you out the door.
Yeah. He wouldn't be the worst bloke to be tapping on the shoulder saying,
Don Pike, the West Coast Eagles CEO, by the way.
If they make a because he's got them to the prelim a number of times, hasn't he?
Yes.
He's shown that he can get them deep into finals. Just hasn't been able to get them all the way. So if he gets them to a prelim again, are they going to go, maybe you just can't take us the whole way?
If you're a Blues fan and you've just climbed up off the floor from the drama that has been the last 2 games of
3
football,
hours. It's a big 3 hours.
Get the big 3 hours. How about a big 6 and a bit hours?
No, that's what I mean.
Yes,
from the finish.
and this one.
From the finish. Sunday. What time was what time did that game finish? 4 o'clock.
Oh, but I'm not even talking about just when Jack Higgins put there in front. You're going to be a nervous wreck for the entire 3 hours before that, aren't you? I would have been.
Well, everyone's just heading to Lygon Street right now.
Yeah.
A big pasta meal and a few reds.
And let us know what it means to you if you're a Blues fan. I'd love to hear from you. 0437 774 774. Because
doesn't matter how you get in.
No, it doesn't. And we've seen in the past, and I know I'm drawing a long bow, but they've got so many guns who, with the extra week of the bye,
absolutely
might be returning. So you would expect that De Koning would be a chance. You would absolutely think the likes Curnow and Mackay would be an opportunity. Martin potential to come in. There's huge chances.
You got to be also careful how many you bring in, but you've got to get that right. If I'm looking at this finals in 2 weeks' time,
Chera, it's another one.
I'm thinking Geelong have come off a soft kill.
Very soft.
Yeah, I'm not backing them against that hard, even though Geelong are hard. I'm more worried about what Carlton can do to Brisbane up there on a dry deck in 2 weeks' time if they go up there with a pretty good team. They'd be more
with
scary.
Refilled ammo.
Refilled ammo. It's not like they're all coming back in after 8 weeks. I mean, Charlie's just... most of them been short. Chera maybe a bit longer. Martin's been in and out a little bit. A couple of others we're missing there. But they just got to get them all fit. Probably 4 changes, 5 absolute tops. 4 would be enough. But if Mackay and Curnow come in... Whew.
And let us not forget what happened right back in... I refuse to call it opening round. What happened right back in round 1, where Carlton ended the Brisbane Lions' outrageous run of unbeaten games up at the Gabba.
Yeah, it's been done up there.
So they would go up there with that as well. And the other thing we need to remember too is what happened if I go right back to 2016 with the Western Bulldogs, who had a massive amount of injuries. And then with the week off, I think from memory got 7 players back for the elimination final against West Coast in Perth. And no one gave them a chance. And they won that and went on a run all the way to win the premiership. So there are similarities in getting a whole group of players back.
Yeah.
But the other thing they have to be aware of is that their form leading in to the finals has been
not
horrendous.
So great.
Horrendous. So
I don't get that vibe just yet from...
No one got that vibe for the Western Bulldogs either.
I did.
Until they beat West Coast. Before they beat West Coast.
When they beat us that day.
Yeah. I think a lot of people came away from that day and went, oh, they're going all right. They're going all right. No one gave them a chance here. Anyway, the bottom line is they're in it, and Fremantle are not.
Yeah.
And so are Port.
Well, we said it the other night. Is it a wasted year for all? A waste of a year? And you said you never have a wasted year, but I think it's a year where they've missed a huge opportunity.
It's a year of wasted opportunities. It's not a wasted year.
There's always huge growth within your list. Certain players we could go through, the Drapers and the likes have just played in a big... That's a finals type game.
And Draper played well tonight.
Let's head down into the Port Adelaide rooms. Akash voted up.
Start Ollie Wines with me. Ollie, firstly, congratulations, 250 games and sewn up second spot. How do you feel?
Yeah, super pumped with that. As the crew just mentioned then, like the finals atmosphere was incredible out there from the Fremantle fans. So, we felt the home support against us out there, and the way the game was played, it was, a contested stoppage down the line game that traditionally finals are. So, we came in the game sort of not knowing the results or not knowing what was going around us, and we were just focusing on what we could control, and that was our round 24 performance.
How difficult is it when you come to hostile territory? You've got 45,000 fans trying to get behind a team who desperately, need the win to get in. You've already got finals sort of sewn up. How difficult is it to make sure you are completely on to get the result you did?
Yeah, no, it's incredibly important. First of all, the flight over here, hats off to West Coast and Fremantle for what they've got to do every second week. To do that for a whole season, that's pretty incredible. So it is difficult coming over here and travelling to Perth and playing, different time zone, different environment. Obviously, really good home support for the Fremantle Dockers here. So, it was tough. And as I said, it was finals like.
You played 250 games, won a Brownlow medal. How do you approach another final series?
Yeah, I think we've got to grasp the opportunity now. I've got a thing in my mind that you get what you deserve, but I'd like to think if that was true, I'd probably have 2 or 3 premierships now. So I don't think that saying is true in football. You've got to grasp it, and you've got to take the opportunities when they present. So we've had a number of opportunities over the past 5-6 years. We've finished top 4, we've had second chances, and we haven't taken that opportunity. So this is the year. We'll have some conversations the next 2 weeks, and we'll go from there.
I'll send it upstairs. We've got Clint Wheeldon and our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman.
Ollie, congratulations on game 250. Great effort. Love watching every single one of them, except when I was on the other end of them. But, mate, good luck for the finals as well. How much of your kind of finals type experience as a team do you reckon helped get you over the edge? Because it was a massive arm wrestle all day. How much of that experience do you think got you over the line against a young Freo?
Yeah, I certainly think that helps. And, we've got a pretty young group still, but they have got a bit of finals experience under their belt. And I think in those, last quarters and dying stages of quarters, it's good to have sort of that maturity and sort of know what to go to. So, as you said, Fremantle's a young team. They're going to continue to develop and get really good. But I think we're able to sort of take control in those, particularly late in the last quarter, and slow the game down to our tempo.
You spoke about that, slowing the tempo down of the game. Was the arm wrestle the idea, just to make it real tough and kind of get that finals-like experience before the next couple of weeks? Did you want it to be a tough fought game? Because for early on, it was high scoring in the first quarter, kind of going back and forth, and then it felt like you guys just really dragged them back.
Yeah, that's exactly how we wanted it to be. It was a dress rehearsal for what's going to come in September. Oh, excuse me. And we knew Fremantle were going to come out firing. Obviously, they had to win to make finals, and they'd be going for it, and certainly were, and the crowd got around them, and it was played like a finals game. So we'll take confidence out of that and head back to Adelaide Oval.
Ollie, Chris Waterman, well done on your 250th. You're going into unknown territory this week. Right now, how do you feel about this week coming off? Because you got some injuries, and unfortunately young Farrell did something tonight. So you reckon right now how you're feeling only 20 minutes after a very tough game of footy? Do you reckon the bye's going to help you?
Yeah, no, it certainly will. I think Faz has done a little hamstring, so we'll assess that during the week. But, we had a lot of guys banged up throughout the night. It was a pretty physical affair. So certainly we'll cherish this 2 weeks and put the feet up. Obviously, we'll train a bit, but we'll be trying to get back to 100% health going into qualifying final.
And on the back of that, you guys have been terrific with Kenny for the last 8 or 10 years or whatever, but you haven't got to the big dance. If you get there in a month's time, do you think there should be another week off?
I'm not
given
sure.
given the concussion protocols.
I haven't thought about that. That's a good point, but I think that's a lot of time off for finals. I'm all for the finals bye going into it. I think it's a good week to get all the awards and everything out. They probably should get the Brownlow done in that week and get that over and done with. But I certainly like the week off going into finals. I'm not sure about another one.
Ollie, what Muddy just mentioned at the Ken Hinckley side of it, how much does this mean to you as a group when you look back? We were talking about 10 to 12 weeks ago, the kind of outside noise, the pressure on Ken, and now you guys have just absolutely rallied up and, just locked up second position.
Yeah, I think internally it doesn't impact us too much. When we did go down that little down trough, I think we still had a lot of confidence in what we're able to do and what we're still capable of. But it is certainly reassuring to do it and, I guess, prove people wrong and show us what we are made of. It's, everyone's looking for that little bit of admiration and respect from the external people, whether that's, media, fans or other teams. And I think we've been able to do that. But certainly internally it's never wavered and, we've always been behind Kenny.
Clint Wilden here, Ollie. A last one for you, and you have been so close in the past. You look around this group, why do you think this group might have the ability to go one or maybe two steps further than you've gone in previous years?
I think a little bit to do with maturity and getting, some games on the belt and going through different experiences. Sorry, you got me?
Yeah, we got you.
You got me still. I think, a lot of maturity, growing up, going through those experiences. You always learn the most from, failure, and we've had some failure along the lines. And then just the weapons, I think we've got guys that, very dynamic, can do different roles, so I think that's going to prepare us well.
Really appreciate your time. Best of luck for the finals, and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
250 gamer Ollie Wines joining us downstairs.
The other one that would be pretty incredible for us, they do go all the way, is Boakey, like 360-odd games, whatever it is. Never quite got there. Got there just after they won their 04 premiership. I think he would have got there in about 05, 06. So I think that would be a really nice touch for him.
He was taken at pick 5 in 2006, by the way.
There you go.
See, I know things occasionally. I know you ask me questions I don't know all the time, but we do know that Mitch Turner is available for us downstairs in the Fremantle rooms. Mitch.
Clint, I've got Hayden Young here, Fremantle Dockers midfielder. Hayden, what's your initial reaction to the fact that you won't be playing finals this year?
Yeah, obviously pretty devastated. I think the most disappointing thing is we feel like we're a good enough team to be playing finals. Last 3 weeks we played 3 top 4 teams and we've come up just short each time, and every game, those last 3 games we felt like we should have won, and we've had opportunities and we probably just haven't been able to finish off our work and under pressure be able to execute the basics of the game, and that's something that we're just going to have to sit with over the off season and focus on next year about, like, if we want to be a really good team, a premiership team, we've got to be able to finish off games, and we know we're a good side. We just weren't able to get it done in the back end of the year, but it's disappointing because we feel like throughout the year we've been one of the most consistent teams. We've only had really 2 games where we haven't rocked up, but throughout the rest of the year we felt like every game we've had opportunities, and we just haven't been able to sort of finish off our work and get the job done late in the year. So it feels like a missed opportunity this season.
You've been in so many close games with really good sides. Today was another indication of that. You were right there with Port Adelaide until the end, and you were there against them in round 5 as well. Does that burn a little bit, knowing how close you are to these top sides who are playing finals and are right at the pointy end, and you're not going to be there? Yeah, it does. It's to be honest, it's really annoying. Because we speak about it a lot, and we've failed again, which is disappointing. And but I suppose you got to look at it from the fact that last year we were inconsistent with our performances, and we didn't give ourselves an opportunity to even play finals because we were up and down, and our good was good and our bad was really bad. So the positive this season is that we've become a really consistent side, and that's what we want to be, and we've just got to tighten the screws a little bit and finish off our work and make the most of those opportunities in late games. And I suppose for a lot of us, we haven't been in this position where we're still a relatively young team in terms of experience, and I suppose these
these games are just going to be massive for us going forward. And although we haven't been able to get the job done this week and this year, we're going to have a lot of growth in our group going forward, and we should be able to learn from these scenarios. And I suppose just going forward, if you're in close games, you're not going to get overruled as much because you're like, okay, I've been here before. I know what mistakes I made last time. This is what I need to focus on. So that's the perspective we've got to take. We can't get down on ourselves. We're obviously disappointed at the moment, but we'd rather be in this position than the position we were in last year.
And just quickly before I throw you upstairs, I can see the ice on the right leg. What did happen to you in the last quarter? You couldn't take much part, and how hard was that to watch on, knowing that you wanted to be out there in the engine room and helping your side get it done?
Yeah, it was really annoying. I just got a knock and it just didn't really settle down. I don't know what was going on, but I just struggled to put weight through it, and tried to get back out there, and was a bit of a liability. So had to sit and watch from the bench, which was frustrating, but it is what it is.
I'll just throw it upstairs to our team in the box, Clint Wheeldon with Sharad Wellingham and Chris Waterman.
Hayden, Chris Waterman, well done on a personal level on your season, but with tonight's game, did you feel the pressure growing as the game wore on?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone felt the pressure, and I feel like I'm someone that really enjoys the pressure and wanted to stand up as the game was lifting, and unfortunately I didn't take much part in that last quarter, which really frustrated me. But I feel like I pride myself on someone who does the basics well and under any circumstance. And I felt like my performance tonight was pretty consistent throughout the night, and it was disappointing that I wasn't on the field late to help my team win.
Hayden, Sharad here. Congrats on a good year personally, and like you said, I think the team's definitely developed a fair bit. But talk to us about the mid-forward connection tonight. From up here, we were pretty... we kept throwing our arms up in the air, just waiting for the forwards to kind of come at the kicker. Was it a direction to stay deep and not come up? Talk to us about the mid-forward connection tonight.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure. I felt like we had a few opportunities where we didn't make the most of it, and our connection probably wasn't at its best. But half of that's on the kicker as well. We probably didn't kick it to the forwards' advantage, and a little bit of that is what I was talking about before, about in high pressure moments just not making the right decisions. And I felt like we had times where we connected really well, and for a large part of the season that's been a strength of ours. But I think we've shown a little bit in the last few weeks that when the pressure of the game lifts, we just don't handle those situations too well. So that's something that we're obviously going to look at, and we want to keep working on those areas. And it's frustrating.
I know it's only 20 minutes after the last game, but what are you thinking the key areas for improvement are going to be over the summer?
It's hard to say at the moment. I feel like our strengths are really obvious. We're a good sort of stoppage team and good team defence, and we want to keep building on that. And I think the last part about it is how can we get more bang for buck. It's sort of been a theme over the last few pre-seasons about our mid-forward connection, bang for buck. But as I said, we're not far off. We could be sitting here and you could be going, oh, how good's Freya's in the top 4? We've won the last 4 games, and it's literally just been off the back of not being able to get it done in really key moments. And so I don't think there's a lot in our game. There's no big things we need to work on. It's more just how can we rise to the occasion and just get the job done. If you want to be a really good team, you need to win close games, and we haven't been able to do that. So there won't be, I don't think there's wholesale changes. It's just, keep building, tighten the screws, and make the most of opportunities.
I'll give you one, Hayden. Go and watch the first half, and you'll be like Sharon and I. You'll be sitting there watching it, and after you've watched it, you'll go, we should have been 5 goals in front. So goal kicking's one of them.
Yeah, that's another thing,
The simple things, mate, are often the best.
Yeah, 100%.
Hayden, Clint Wheeldon, Sue, before we let you go, does what Hawthorn, what they've done this year, does that give you hope that it doesn't take a lot to take that big step?
Yeah, I suppose. I
know you're a footy fan yourself and you watch a lot of it, so seeing where they've come from.
I suppose it doesn't take a lot, and I feel like, us and Hawthorn are at sort of similar, I suppose, age demographic. So what they've been able to do has been, it's been good to watch, to be honest. They look like they're playing with a lot of freedom, having a lot of fun, and and they're obviously winning games of football. So, I suppose we could always learn a thing or two from other teams. But, to be honest, we're really happy with where our list's at and where our team's at. We've just got to fix a few things, and we're not far off.
What does the off-season look like for you? Are there any plans? Are you doing anything in particular?
No, to be honest, I was planning on playing footy for a few more weeks. So,
very good.
I'm going to have to go home, look at my calendar tonight, and figure it out. But nothing planned as of yet.
Oh, well, whatever comes, best of luck. Thanks for talking to us throughout the year, and we'll cheer the Browns on from here.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys.
Good on you, mate. Hayden Young downstairs, pretty frank in what he had to say.
Well, he sounds, I don't know, Hayden, he sounds like a nice, good young kid who's had a really good football season and is screwing his guts up every time he goes for the ball, and he'd be hurting down there now. So he's one that, what he just said then, he understands what's going on. We're not that far away, but you're ninth. Right now, you're
10th.
The 10th. You're nowhere near the 8th next year. You've got to get through summer again. You got to sit and watch the finals, then get through next summer, and then go through another 20-odd games.
What he also said was it's been a common trait, or I suppose...
Absolutely.
It's been a common thing over the last couple of years where they haven't been able to raise to the level, and they haven't been able to have that mid-forward connection. It's been an issue for a fairly long time, and we thought that Amos coming in, we obviously haven't seen... Josh Tracy over the last couple of weeks, which I think really does change the look of their forward line and the way they move the ball. But like not having the ability to have somebody and come in and fill that void when Tracy goes out is a big miss, because they revert back to the old style.
Yeah, they had Voss and Sturt, but they just weren't attacking. They could watch this first half over and over and dissect it, and learn a lot from this team. They've just got to grow out of it, because I'll tell you what, the team that's sitting in the 8 now didn't have their two keys, Mackay and Curnow. But somehow they ended up in the 8, and they're playing finals next week. They've got to grow out of these little...
But those guys who come in, they've got to try and execute the role that the guys who went out were doing.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to do a one man in, one comes up, like, you got to come in and do the same thing. You can't... I said it. We're sitting here frustrated, literally like going like this when... opportunities for him to come up, and Voss and Sturt just sitting back. Amos does it all the time, but...
Did they do enough? I mean, Sarong was getting tagged. Did they say, look, well, let's put Jaeger in there? Jaeger was being good. He was good at half forward. Did they try get Sarong out, take the tag, get Jaeger in, or get someone else
in? Go
2-1. Move it around. But they were actually, if I'm JL, I'm thinking, we're going all right here. We're just missing the goals.
Yeah.
And in the end...
was that the thing? Like, no move, no trigger got pulled early enough?
No, did they go and jump someone onto Ollie Wines or Horn Francis, or you had Willie until 2 moments in the last quarter, really.
Port Adelaide, they've won over Fremantle here in the West. The final game 207 of 207 of the home and away season. Victorious by 20 points, Port, so they finish in second spot, 13-9-87 to Fremantle 9-13-67, which means even though the Blues lost by 2 points in a heart-stopper today, Jack Higgins kicking a goal with 12 seconds left for the Saints to give St Kilda a 2-point win. It will be Carlton who play in the finals. Fremantle miss out. The Bulldogs earlier in the day had locked in a spot in the finals with a 37-point win over GWS. The Giants are also playing finals. I'll run through how it all looks in a fortnight's time in just a moment, but let's hear first from the Port Adelaide coach. Here he is.
That was a great test for us with Fremantle in their home ground with everything that they needed to play for, and where we positioned ourselves. It was really solid work, I reckon, to pretty mature to turn up there and take care of business the way we've been able to for the last 7 or 8 weeks. So really proud of the boys tonight.
How did you go about it?
Oh, we did it around contest. We did it around just putting pressure on the ball as much as we possibly could. We've been a bit makeshift over the last few weeks. We've been having to put people in different spots, and we've been brave enough to try some different things, which has put us in a really healthy position and give us a bit of a different look. I think we're a bit different team. I think we're a pretty reliable team.
How did you handle the mental challenge today? No, you have to win, but you couldn't try and run it out and just say...
We approached it with we had to win. And I think the only way we can practice for what's next is to have been in a really hostile environment. I said to the boys at quarter time, it's going to get louder out here, and we've got to play calm football the louder it gets, because that's what we're probably going to go into from now. And reality is we set ourselves to play 24 rounds, and I said a long time ago, wait till the end of 24 rounds, I'll tell you where we are. We've earned our right to second on the ladder clearly, and we look forward to what's next.
Your ability to be clean and handle all the big pressure moments across the board from all your players. How proud are you of that, and what do you think that will do for you?
Yeah, I have great respect for Freo and the way they play. I love the way they play around the ball. I think they're a really talented team. It just goes to show how tough this comp is. That team shouldn't be not playing finals, but that's what happens. In a really tight competition, someone misses out. So, as I said, I think our boys are getting better. They're playing a brand of football that I think's a bit different. I'm really hopeful for them, but the reality is we know it starts again now.
Ollie mentioned that you deliberately didn't know the result of the Carlton game. Can you talk us through the approach?
Yeah. Most of the coaches knew, I reckon, but I think we tried to keep it matter of fact, and what we focused on all year is each week, and we try to stay in that week, and that was why this was a great little challenge for us, is to go, you know what, doesn't matter what else is going on around the competition. We played the last game of round 24 on a Sunday afternoon. We wanted to play it like it was the first round, and when you know what you play like and it's the first round, you're pretty desperate to get things done the right way, and to travel, win big, pretty good game of footy, pretty pleased.
Might have been able to get away with that if you were Port Adelaide. There's no way you could have got away with that if you're a Fremantle. They knew exactly what had happened from the enormous roar around this ground when St Kilda.
Yeah. We were sitting here watching it.
Oh, we were all cheering openly because you wanted this to be a live game.
Yeah, we didn't want to.
They walk out through past the fans here at the stadium. They would have all been yelling because they're down there for a couple of minutes.
Everyone would have.
Well, I can tell you the reaction in all these press boxes when that goal went through from Jack Higgins.
It wasn't just the press boxes.
But we would have been
corporates,
flat if it didn't go through.
It was the corporates. It was the entire stadium.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's a live game of footy. And this game matters.
And it ended up being a good game of footy.
It was a good game. They were just tougher at it for longer, Port.
Made it exciting for 3 more hours because whatever happened here, there was something at play. Whether you're a Carlton fan listening in, Dockers supporter, there was a bit more at it. Of course, we were desperately cheering for it.
It's brilliant that it came down to even 5-6 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Freo needed a couple of goals. Willie got that last soccer, but the season itself, Hawthorn were winning and kept staying in 14th position. Took them 5 weeks in a row to
break
get up,
past that
barrier. Now they're in the 8. It's just a season that kept on giving right to the last 3 or 4 minutes.
So we don't have the dates as yet, but these are the elimination finals. Brisbane against Carlton. Now, I mentioned before that Carlton won there earlier this year. They did back in the very first round of the season. Let us not forget, though, that Brisbane beat Carlton last year in the preliminary finals. So there's a bit at stake in that one, in the elimination final. That'll be one of the first games. Bulldogs against Hawthorn is the other elimination final. So 2 form teams go head-to-head, the Bulldogs and the Hawks. The qualifying finals, Sydney against GWS, and Port Adelaide will be hosting Geelong in Adelaide. Couple of texts just before we get our ABC Football of the Year and Christian medal votes. Fran from Melbourne enjoyed the call and the special comments. By the way, does this make the Pies and the Blues even now when we stopped them from getting into the finals 2 years ago? No, probably not, because you would have to actually knock them out the very last game, very last moment, wouldn't you? And that was a dramatic, was it like 4 minutes to play from memory? Not quite even. The Blues are playing in finals this time. Paul from Frankston South. Hi, guys. Love the call. As a Carlton supporter, we now have to rely on other teams' losses to make finals. Well, we're pretty something. If Carlton can get key players back, we'll be competitive. If not, Brisbane will destroy us. That's Paul from Frankston South. Yvette's in rural WA is one of our regular texters. Hello to you, Yvette. Hi, the Dockers need to know how to kick goals. So disappointing. Goals win your games, not points. It's let us down all season. Josh Draper, though, played an amazing game. Thank you, Yvette. Ian's a Blues supporter living in Brisbane. It would be lovely to get all our injured stars back, but I'll be off to the Gabba. Thank you, Ian, listening in from Brisbane. Carlton always does things the hard way, so I should have expected this, and yet it was still incredibly nerve-wracking, says another of our correspondents. Do let us know your name and where you're texting in from. Rod from Launceston, don't forget Brisbane beat the Blues. Yes, they did, to kick us out of the finals last year. There's no pressure on the Blues in a fortnight, and we owe them one from last year. Jezza in Wangaratta. Wowee, the Blues are alive. 8 to come in. Curnow and Mackay to kick a bag. Let's go, Blue Baggers. Thanks very much, Jezza. And another correspondent, again, let us know your name. I'm a new Carlton fan. I went to the game today. What a roller coaster. I loved it. I now can't wait for the finals. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to send us a text. Deanne in Bunbury. I'm a Blues supporter. I'm happy, but I'm worried because injuries are the worry. Brett's in Canberra. Hi, team. Great call. My daughter supports Freo and my son and I support the Blues, so I feel somewhat conflicted. What a season. Thank you very much, Brett. Look after your daughter. She'll be absolutely heartbroken, Brett, though you and your son can be totally thrilled with the Blues somehow making it. Sharad and Chris, you've nailed it. Tonight's game shouldn't have mattered. Same old story for the Dockers. Thanks to all from Rick, who's working away using the headlamp in Margaret River. I'd seen both Carlton and Fremantle made hard work of the last third of the round robin to stay in the 8, says Frank of Winthrop. Yes, they did, considering, as I mentioned, go back to, was it round 18 off the top of my head? Yeah, round 18. Carlton was second, Fremantle were third. How things change. Carlton just sneak in and Fremantle miss out on a finals berth.
Wasn't it Fremantle against Carlton in Adelaide when the ball was supposedly touched?
Yes, it was.
Yep.
There you go. And Carlton won that one.
They did. I would
sliding doors.
I would also
sliding doors moment.
That was true. The ball was touched.
Yes, it was. We all saw it.
But there were about 6 or 7 moments in the 5 minutes before that where if Fremantle take a mark at left half back as opposed to dropping the football, if Jackson, rather than palming the ball into the middle of the ground from a ruck contest, drops it to his feet and they kill the football, Freo could have won that anyway.
Westhoff's still here. There's a security guard on the field. It looks like the beard.
You were right, though. I
Westhoff.
think was it Josh Tracy that had a moment in that game going back with a flight and he
ducked
the head.
That was one.
That was costly. And then the descent, which is undisciplined.
Yeah.
And then last week there was undisciplined play. Bailey Banfield.
Did he get dropped for that, do you think?
I think he just had a poor couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But that was undisciplined play. And there's shades of it again. Liam Reedy running through a player off the ball.
And again, without going through everything that Fremantle got wrong, they should have beaten, although that Carlton dispute, they should have beaten Port over there as well.
Yeah, they should have.
Lost by 3 points.
That goal was costly. And considering they only got away by, what, they win by 20 points?
Yeah, the Reedy one that he gave.
Two goals at the end.
Yep.
So costly. I mean, they're back to a point behind at some.
Yep.
They get in front, they just get that momentum, and you never know. But a goal to them where you don't need to give it to them.
Well, they got back to within a goal, 8-minute mark of the final term. They got back to within 3 points.
There you go. They should have hit the front.
Credit to Port, though.
Yeah, well done.
They're a good side.
And again, as I've said this over here about Freo for a couple of weeks now, they're good enough, but they haven't been good enough for long enough or often enough when it mattered. And that's what gets them.
It's what we just said. They just got to grow up a little bit.
How much pressure is on Ken Hinkley? It sounds silly because he's second, but to actually go on with it this time and make it all the way. Because they've been in this position, and I know there's, like you've probably spoken about, they're 8-1 since he got booed off the ground by the fans, but can we see a coach sacked who makes it to a prelim?
Hello, Ken.
In
Don Pike here from the West Coast Eagles. Should we have a chat?
In the English Premier League, in the NFL and the NBA, if coaches don't win it for a long time, they get close. Teams eventually pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's
take us there, but you can't get us over the line.
It's getting to that point with Ken, and Ken would know that. He'd know you can't go on forever, and he hasn't got to the big dance, let alone won a flag.
Yeah.
Who knows? Give it a month. We can't answer. They're as good a live chance right now as anyone. The way this season's panned out.
They're in the mix. 10 other clubs are not. Votes, just to wrap things up, for the very final game of the home and away season.
Here we go.
1 vote, Zach Butters.
Yep.
2 votes, Horn Francis.
Yep.
3 votes, Ollie Wines.
They always win you over with the interview, don't they, Shaz?
He was good.
He was very, very good.
Game 250, brilliant.
31 disposals, was it? Yeah, 31 disposals. 17 of them contested, 2 tackles, 7 score involvements. And what about the Christian medal?
Well, we thought young Josh Draper would get 1 vote. He was pretty good behind the ball all night. Thought Jeremy Sharp was very good out on his wing, provided plenty of run, and of course Andy Brayshaw through the middle, ran a lone hand with... Willem Drew's not far off getting a vote for Port because he did a terrific job on Caleb Sarong tonight, but Andy Brayshaw was outstanding with 33 possessions and 60% ratio and over 350 yards he covered. He tried everything to keep his team in the game and drag him across the line.
Sarong's streak is over.
Yeah, what do you have? 17?
19 disposals.
Well, it's
73 games straight above 20. The all-time record is officially over, which I think...
would have been nice to have a big game because...
He would care a little bit.
Ndayko's probably got 3 Friday night.
Yep.
There's Cripper's probably got 3 today. Lockie Neal's probably got 3 yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Bonson Pally's...
Bont might have been a 1 or a 2, but Caleb, unfortunately,
he had 22 today, Bont, but he had 11 clearances and I think 9 or 10 score involvements. The most on
the way that game was played, there was nothing. It
didn't have a lot.
Yeah, he might be in for 1 or 2, which could be enough. But Caleb would need to be 4 in front tonight.
It's good.
Before tonight.
It's going to be a good count.
Yeah. But he's had a terrific year all the same. Caleb Sarong, I hope he gets an All-Australian jumper and he should be in the top 5 or 6 around the Brownlow night, I reckon.
Yeah. Here's a random question for you, and it comes off the text line from Steve. Has a team ever lost 6 of its final 8 games and made finals? My Blues are making up the numbers. The Lions on recent form will humiliate us. That's from Steve from Ballarat.
I don't know.
No, I'm not sure about that. There's been circumstances.
There's been some teams that have lived
personnel.
Yeah.
Other teams have just... don't worry about St Kilda. They have been in ripping... They've been almost... They've won 6 of 8, I reckon. If you go through it.
They've won their past 3, I can guarantee you that.
Well, I think they might be 6 from 8 coming into the back end of the year.
The travel from the West Coast, though, as Ollie Wines talked about before, if every team in recent times that's travelled to Perth has lost the next week. So...
there you go.
Which is why a lot
Carlton
of us...
lost, Geelong lost last
No,
week.
but this is the...
Including myself.
The pre-finals bye, though.
There is a bye coming up. So
That's
what
right.
throws a spanner in the works.
It doesn't matter for Port.
There's the omen for Carlton right there.
Carlton, Geelong.
They don't play for 2 weeks.
We're about to wrap things up here, gents. Before we let you go, because there'll be no finals footy over here, who's your tip for the flag? Sharrod?
I from about the halfway mark, I was starting to think Brisbane. I'm probably not going to change now.
Okay.
As I said, they've got to get over what I think will be a red-hot Carlton in 2 weeks.
They also need to kick straight, a bit like Freo.
My most likely is that bunch, Port. My out-of-the-box is Hockball.
Grow up.
That's them.
The Hawks, they're bubble or burst.
Yeah, but
Good luck.
It could burst.
They provided inspiration for all the other teams not in the 8 this year for next year. That's what they've done.
The second worst video I've seen this year behind the Skibbity toilets. The Hockball. If you haven't seen Skibbity toilets, do yourself a favour and don't watch it. You obviously don't have small children. That wraps it up from here. Well done to Carlton. They survived despite losing by 2 points to St Kilda earlier today. The Western Bulldogs, they lock in a spot in the finals, winning by 37 points over GWS. And then Port Adelaide did the Blues a massive favour and ended the year for the Fremantle Dockers. Port winning the final game of the home and away season by 20 points in the West. 13-9-87 to Fremantle's 9-13-67. Bye week next week. Plenty of footy action, though, right around the country here on ABC Sport. We'll all catch up with you then. Clint Wilden, on behalf of the team here in the West, saying bye for now.
It's the most magical time of the year, right? Footy season. This season, you can get your footy live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app. Unbelievable. AFL, NRL, men's, women's. Whatever you fix, we've got you covered. Every goal, try, mark and tackle, called by ABC Sports' expert commentary team.
A wonderful goal! Game, set, bingo!
100% pure footy, live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app.
ABC Sport Digital Radio, your home of netball. This is an ABC podcast.
Welcome to the ABC Tennis Podcast.
Novak returns, volley into the open court's a winner. 3 championship points saved. Can you believe it? An ace down the middle again. What a performance. She's back to juice.
ABC Sport.
The moment has arrived. The world is watching.
Welcome to the ABC Tennis Podcast. I'm Catherine Murphy and I'm joined by the two Johns, Mr. Millman and Mr. Alexander. We have a lot to talk about on today's podcast. Coming up, Yannick Sinner cleared of any wrongdoing after testing positive to a steroid twice. Mixed fortunes for the Aussies in the US Open draw, and can Olympic gold medalist Novak Djokovic win a record 25th Grand Slam title at the US Open? I can't believe it starts next week. J.A. and John, how are you today?
I am well, good for weight and age.
And I am going well too, Catherine.
So good to see both of you. What a week it has been in tennis. Let's get into the big story of the week. As I said, Yannick Sinner tested positive to low levels of an anabolic steroid that can be used to build muscle. So tested positive twice, but he was cleared of any fault or negligence by an independent tribunal after it was ruled that he was inadvertently contaminated by his physio. Now, since he was first alerted to this finding in early April, Sinner has won tournaments in Halle and Cincinnati. He also, of course, became the world number one for the first time in his career. He is the reigning Australian Open champion. Because of his status in the game, this story was massive. Now, there was a lot of strong player reaction when the news of, first of all, his positives and then the fact he was cleared came out. A lot of players online posting on social media. Denis Shapovalov, a strong tweet from him using capital letters, different rules for different players. Liam Brody said online, whether Sinner was doping or not, it's not right. Plenty of players go through the same thing and have to wait months or years. It's not a good look. And then you have Mr. Kyrgios, who just wanted him banned for 2 years. John Alexander, what did you make of it all?
Well, what I know now is that the evidence that was provided exonerated him. And the great